Ah, surprise! Let me turn the music down. It's me! Woo! Like 4 or 5 hours early from when we usually stream. It's crazy. Hello, chat. Both now and in the future. I am just figuring out the last of these fucking technical nonsenses. I think, okay, chat, listen. I think I fixed my alerts, but I don't know until somebody either follows or does a cheer or does whatever. I don't fucking know. But I think I fixed it. I guess we'll find out at some point. But who knows? I'm just getting all my windows sized all nicely so I can see you guys doing. But yeah, how's everybody doing? Let me switch over to the just chatting. Wait! I know I forgot something. Hold up, hold up. Lock in. Lock in. Okay, it's loading. There we go, okay. Now I can switch over to the yapping overlay. Hello, it's me, your boy. I'm here. We're gonna switch over, you know. We're gonna do these guys. It's me, I'm chilling. I forgot that I had a game tonight, so we're streaming a little bit early, and we're gonna finish around the same time that we usually start, or earlier, depending, because today has been a very horizontal in bed with hot water bottle because I feel like I'm dying day. Which is one of the main reasons I didn't also stream yesterday, because I was having so much fun with both Well for the Apocalypse and Bloodlines. We're going to start off with some Werewolf, where we left off last time, which was us going to Esther's bar and trying to figure out like this Conrad guy who seems to be involved with Neo Albion, which is like this weird security company of hunters. And I have to pretend, or Celine, my character, has to pretend to be a doggo because we're doing the thing of like, oh yes, you must be a thirst trap, but instead it's just I have to be a cute doggo, which is going to be fun as an Arun who I think still has 4 rage. Let me just check because I do have the game open. Yup, I'm at 4 rage. We got to figure out how to get that shit down. That's not good. But I have been falling into the Vampire the Masquerade, like trying not to look at stuff on Tumblr and AO3 and get spoiled, but also being like, I fucking love Vampire and I love the art that people do. And Pinterest has become a hellish pit. A hellish pit of AI art, which I don't enjoy. We'll start in just a moment. I've got some I got some croissants and pastries that I baked because I've been having trouble with eating again. Eating has become the big struggle. Happens when I get ill in the way that I have. I've been hit by the debuff. The blood moon has come. This is very frustrating. So I've been doing so good. I've been having like lots of healthy meals. I've been like cooking meals for myself. I really like doing like meal kits and stuff, and also like big like enormous batch cooking meals. I made an enormous like beef stew the other day. At the same time I was also making an enormous pot of chicken soup, which I've been having, and it seems I only have a desire for soup at the moment. Solid food solid food I have decided is cringe unless it is crusty bread that I am dipping into my whittle soup. Um, we'll be starting in just a moment. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by the current Critical Role stuff on Tumblr as well. I've been getting through campaign 4. Oh boy. Oh boy, is it fun. Oh boy, is it good. I'm having a good time. But we are gonna... Which one is the game? Wait, is it this one? No, wait. Because I did the thing where I was making overlays and I got blacked out on my medication again, so I made this. So we're having a good time, chat. We're having a good time. The hammer, as you can see, the hammer is back down here. We've got Freenos watching on high. He is very proud of you, chat, as ever. And then we've got the lizards versus the rats. Because they prevailed in the last poll. The rats prevailed. But this is my new funny overlay, and I'm not gonna get butthurt about it when somebody comes in and is like, "Oh, I can't see any of the gameplay on the screen." Well, sucks to suck, I guess. Yeah, I got real butthurt about that for some reason, and then I started using just the full screen one for a long time, and then I was like, I miss having just little random memes. I miss Moodang crashing out. I think I still have the... Yeah, I have the original, the original overlay. It doesn't have Moodang though, because I had space for Burb. But yeah, overlay. You got chat over here if anyone wants to hang out and have chat time, and then there's me with my little witch's hat because Halloween never ends, as I am immortal and decree it so. But we're gonna get to it, I think. Let me just remind myself. I've got 4 intimidation. What the heck? Okay. Just checking everything. We're pretty good fight boys right now. Okay. I'm gonna switch over from the chill, sort of Hawaiian music, I guess we got going on, to the spooky sounds. Okay. I believe the music should be loud enough and you can still hear me talk, because I'm going to be, as ever, here we go. 10 minutes later, you're a big blue-grey wolf in the mismatched camper shell of Podge's truck, rumbling north on Route 5. You share the back with Nin and her guitar. Up front, Elton and Podge help Melody recite her dialogue like students getting ready for a play. The last text you saw before you changed was from Daphne, who had just reached the bar and cut into the woods. No spider monsters yet. New moon tonight, good for creatures that rely on smell. Esther's is busy, the parking lot a mix of hogs and rigs. You don't know much about either, but have a few exceptions. They're older, cheaper models. Esther's caters to the real deal, not dentists who had Easy Rider posters in their dorm room. Podge parks between 2 much larger trucks, and you hop out onto broken asphalt. The bone gnawer checks his phone, then disappears up into the woods to find Daphne. Fearless, Nin grabs her guitar case and heads right inside. You catch a glimpse of people backing off as the door swings open like the child of Gaia just walked in with a shotgun. Melody says something while checking her phone. You didn't catch it. Your lupus form doesn't make you stupider, but it's hard to concentrate on syntax when there are so many smells. Melody is grave. Melody is grave dirt and strawberry perfume. Elton is sheep? No, vellum, his oldest books, and the cigarettes Catherine used to smoke, baked into the wallpaper of his apartment. Go in first, Elton is saying. Then you come in with Celine. Wait, no. Do we need a better name for her? You think of a better name. I'll go in first. Remember, we need Celine moved for as much money as you can squeeze out of Conrad. Daphne clears antiseptic smell up in the woods and the scent of her Dobermans, the vi and a paw. Then a familiar smell hits you. Something from Back in New York? You raise your nose trying to catch the scent, but it's gone. And then a caustic reek out in the woods, something that rots but won't die. As Elton heads inside, you growl instinctively, and Melody glares it down at you. Don't act aggressive, she says, kneeling down to tie a kerchief around your neck so you're not mistaken for a coyote and shot. We're trying to sell you, remember? Wow, I didn't think about the politics of that before. It's a little gross. Conrad is waiting for us, come on. She pauses to adjust her messy updo in the window. The Philodox wears a thrifted flannel shirt and a cheap denim jacket. Disposable clothing implies she expects things might go wrong. I need to convince Melody to check out what I can smell. It's probably the source of the webs. What does Melody think? I point, but I'm not going running off into the woods just yet. Getting access to Neo Albion is the priority here. I yip to warn Melody of the threat, but we're going inside. Gonna do that one. What is it? Melody asks, scanning the trees. You howl a brief sentence in the primal tongue, warning Melody about the fomor. Melody listens so intently that she doesn't even correct your grammar, then immediately calls Elton, even though he's just on the other side of the door. Yeah, yeah, Celine can smell whether they made those webs, I think, the Philodox says. I'm worried about Podge and Daphne, so I'm just going to check in. I know you want... Yeah, dude, I know you need to pay rent. We all need to pay rent. I live in a goddamn tumulus like a fairy queen. I still have to... Just let Celine... Melody snarls with frustration and ends the call. Up to you, she says. She wants you to check it out. But Elton doesn't want anything disrupting your sale to Comrade. I'm going to use my nose to follow that odd smell, taking as much time as I need. I know how to sneak around the woods and find things. I pass silently behind Owl into the trees. Can't waste time. Warn her one last time so Podge knows where to look. Then follow Melody in. I think... I'm on the side of this one. Elton is right about the money. We go inside. We need to learn more about Neo Albion. Yeah. Give a precise location. Melody lingers, seriously tempted to run down whatever is up there. But when you scratch at the door, she checks your leash, then leads you inside. Yeah, Celine thinks it's up the slope, the Philodox says into her phone. We should really check out... Okay, fine. We'll just go in. Text Podge and let him know. Did he bring his gun? Oh, that is really alarming. Okay, thanks, bye. Esther's assails you with the smells of cooking meat, sweaty bodies, and old beer sticking on floors and tables. People shout and jostle, play pool, flirt, drink. Two stock boys from the supermarket you frequent talk about their favourite libertarian podcast. Oh no! Oh, we're really in it now, chat. And show off their leather jackets. A man with a tangled beard and SS Bolt tattoos complains about bike lanes. Elton stands near the side door in a thrifted trench coat and Fair Isle sweater, sipping his beer, watched with hateful eyes by a pair of middle-aged white women in sports jerseys. Oh, Jesus. Nin sits in the far corner, her yellow plastic jacket bright under a single light, working through a complex and subtle melody on her guitar. Nin is a good musical choice, especially with so many Garo in here. The melancholy strains of ambient metal might take the edge off. She's already drawn a crowd of listeners who are drinking top-shelf liquor and pretending they're in a more sophisticated bar than this one. Your still human mind notes that the little Galliard has probably already made the bar more money than they paid her. About time! Conrad Merritt is a short, broad man in his late 20s with a crew-cut and horn-rimmed glasses. He's glaring at Melody with a degree of hostility he might soon come to regret if the Philodox can't keep her cool. Melody turns and graces her with a wintry smile as Conrad examines you. This is it, he says. Conrad kneels down to your level. You can smell dip and chemical stimulants on his breath. Oh, I've got a hiccup because I've been drinking soda again. No! And his eyes don't focus right behind the glasses. A faint whiff of gun oil, and from the way he shifts his leather jacket, you can tell he's armed. You follow Melody and Conrad to a booth. The tacky floor feels gross on your paw pads, but you do find a chicken nugget and, compelled by your wolf nature, immediately eat it. Two old men in the booth are arguing about an old topographical map on the wall, one of the restaurant's few decorations. They're both trying to prove a point with their phones, but then they start complaining about the connection. You hear something about a server reset. Daphne and Podge must be busy on the hill above. The lights flicker, and when you can see clearly again, it's like most of dust is suspended in the air. Something pushes through the moats. You're not sure what you're seeing with your limited vision, but you remember something like this. Of course, Everlight in Hollywood Oak. Like claws pushing into this world from outside or inside, and suddenly they push all the way through. A world of screaming metal, straining, grinding, no room to move. Everything fixed in place, but shrieking under impossible tension. A world perfect, full, complete, and frozen forever. A webbed finished. The Weaver screams into your mind, screams her vision of perfect order and flawless. So what do you two lovebirds want? A fearless waitress scratches you behind the ear like you're a Pomeranian in a stroller. Back to the restaurant. Maybe that was an aberration caused by Daphne messing with the pattern line. Bitch, hello? Conrad snaps his fingers under Melody's nose, startling both the Philodox and the waitress. You high? Conrad asks. Sitting below him, you can smell the chemical cocktail sweating out of his pores. I hate this man. He turns to the waitress, shifting again to hide his pistol. Get me a Coors Light. Missy? The waitress asks. A Kir Pamplemousse, Melody says, recovering some of her poise. Let's return to the deal, the Philodox says, when the waitress leaves. She reaches into her satchel and slides your false documentation and breed information across the table to Conrad. Nah. Let's talk, the technician says, his focus lurching back to what he can see of Melody under her cheap jacket and work shirt. You got a boyfriend? Your lupine senses are sending your brain all sorts of data about Conrad that you can't process. Is he deliberately baiting her because he suspects or he knows of her true nature, or is he just blitzed on designer amphetamines and podcast brain pills? Either way, Melody is losing patience. Silverfangs are proud, and though Melody has a job to do, she also has her limits. Elton across the bar watches silently. Strange behavior might drive my value down, but I pad over to Elton and warn him that Conrad is armed and stoned. I remind Conrad why he's here by growling to keep him from annoying Melody. Melody won't like it, but she needs to keep cool and remain seal the deal. I guess we could do manipulation, intimidation. What's my manipulation? Ooh, 6. Because, like, my reasoning for this is, like, podcast bros like this. They want, they don't want the sissy dogs. Like, they want fucking, like, a bit of oomph behind it. So I think we're going to go with this one. You stand up on all 4 legs. Your growl rolls across the restaurant and people nearby fall silent to stare. Conrad blanks, and for a second you think he's going to reach for his pistol. You calculate how to break his wrist in your jaws. It gets halfway out of its holster. Before it gets halfway out of his holster. Then he relaxes and laughs nervously. That's one impressive animal you have here, miss, he says nervously. Impressive and valuable, Melody says, smiling a little now that Conrad is no longer hitting on her. You're only looking for the one animal, though. A tone of disappointment, as if she doubts Conrad's courage. She sips her cocktail. Melody is a deadly negotiator, and the technician looks angry, then embarrassed. That's when the Philodox moves in for a kill, negotiating hard. Conrad is flat-footed, trying to argue for a much lower price, but Melody is a Silverfang, and this drunk techie is obviously outclassed. You're already imagining how you'll search Conrad's house when you hear a familiar voice cut across. Nin's guitar. Loud, crass, a little mean. Something from another world, but you can't quite place it until you see him! Scarpa is at the bar, talking loudly. This fucking asshole about nothing in particular, surrounded by sorts of people who love a guy who talks loud. He takes a long pull from his beer, then looks over and says, "Look at the size of that fucking dog. Thing looks like a wolf." Scarpa's eyes bore into you before returning to the bartender and ordering another round for his friends. He knows exactly who you are, but what is he doing here? You haven't seen him in over a year, haven't heard from him since he threatened to find you, and here he is. You glance at Melody and Elton, but they don't know him. Nin studies the man, surrounded by a circle of silent, hard-drinking types who seem entranced by her electric guitar. She switches to a song with vocals, as if that might disrupt whatever witchery Scarpa is casting over the crowd. Her clear voice drifts across the bar. I think Scarpa was the ragabash, so he's all about talking, and storytelling and things. Conrad says something to Melody that your lupine brain fails to process, then stumbles away, fumbling with his phone. He heads to the bathroom, texting, then sticks the phone against his ear, trying to listen over the guitar. Melody looks bewildered, then she signals Elton to warn her when he comes back. Elton gets up to watch the bathroom as Melody goes through Conrad's backpack. Speaking of backpacks, you notice a familiar, ratty example of the breed at the end of the bar. Your old green backpack. It looks like it survived Clay's disintegration, and Scarpa took it. What did Scarpa bring with him that I can use? I quickly drag my backpack away when Scarpa isn't looking. I lurk outside the bathroom with Owl and try to hear what Conrad is saying. I try to look regal for when Conrad returns. Maximizing my value gives us the money we need. I stay put and out of sight, trying to see how this plays out. Let's try to hear what he has to say. Wits awareness. There's no harm in it. We can try. As Melody rummages furtively through Conrad's backpack while fending off men and women who want to buy her a drink, you wind around legs and stools, following Conrad to Esther's lone bathroom. It's far enough away from Nin and the crowd that you can listen in without difficulty, especially with your sensitive ears. Here, right now, like right now at Esther's, Conrad is saying. Talk from the other end, you hear. Deer Cross, that's the pack that died in Hollyoak. No, it's just him. What am I... I'm just getting a beer. No, I'm here all the time. Conrad, you notice, is a terrible liar. The person on the other end might be his boss. It sounds like Conrad is getting grilled. Not guild. What the fuck? No, no, she isn't named Esther. It's named after a brook. Irrelevant chatter. Or wait, is it? You need to check out that map near your table. You might have a notion. But for now, back to listening. Now? Man, I'm talking to this hot college girl. Come on. Okay, okay, no, it's not doing anything. He's just talking. Yes, no, it's definitely him. No signs of infection. Infection. Okay, yeah, fine. The boop of a disconnection. Fucking asshole. You hurry back to Melody just ahead of Conrad and check out the map. It's hard to concentrate on cartography as a wolf, but you can see Esther's Brook. And is it a tributary of Broadbrook? You think it might be. The map doesn't show much, but what if this restaurant is atop the effluent of Broadbrook's defiled Khan? That's worth checking out. Everyone fuck off, Conrad tells the people around Melody's booth, flashing his gun like the dangerous idiot he is. They all leave. He smirks and sits back down. 1 second, chat. I'm just gonna go and grab a tissue because I'm all gross again. I just need to blow my nose real quick. I'll be right back. I got it. Ah. Why is it trying to do this? Stop. Right. Okay. Scarpa raises his voice again over Nin's guitar, his tone like a stand-up comedian's, as Melody runs rhetorical circles around Conrad and their negotiations. Can't you play some ZZ Top or something? Scarpa yells to Nin, who is covering Warren Zevon per request. Nin ignores him. Is this song about my kebab guy? Hey, how about something with a beat? The two Galliards... Oh, no, he is a Galliard. The two Galliards lock gazes and Nin fumbles a chord. With a strange, heightened awareness of your lupus form, you know that Nin recognizes a fellow Garu, but Scarpa does not. The air feels thick and musty with so much rage. There's an almost erotic tension now, as people are compelled to listen. Scarpa brays a laugh at Nin's misnote, mimes dancing around and playing a lute like a medieval bard to roared laughter. Someone who appears to know the bone gnawer asks him a question, and as Melody and Conrad toss numbers back and forth, you perk your ears up to listen. Yeah, it was some cult or some shit down in Hartford, Scarpa says. Oh, fuck me, Nin's gonna freak the fuck out, Scarpa says. They all got killed, though. He's almost certainly talking about Neo Albion wiping out the Deer Cross pack. Conrad can't hear him over Melody's ruthless negotiation. Yeah, all sorts of crazy shit out here, like Eater of Names. Nin drops another chord. Girl, look, I work in IT and I get paid in stock. I don't have much, like, liquid money. I understand, Melody says, rising. Thank you for buying me a drink. Come along, she tells you. Wait, Conrad says in a panic. I can pay half now and... Will you take a personal check? No, Melody says, gathering up her things. Venmo? No. Google Pay? I am trapped in the Apple ecosystem and cannot leave. Company check? The Philodox is careful not to smile as she says, half in cash now and we'll finalize the transfer when your check clears. No! Bots already. What the heck? Get out of here, you. We're gonna do the thing. The hammer is out. Oh, I bonked with the hammer. Chat, nobody panic. Everybody is safe from the bot. I hit it in its little clanker head. And now we just do this. There we go. Fine. Conrad hands Melody everything in his wallet except $5, then writes her a check that you can't see because you're below table level. Melody is practically vibrating with excitement as she takes a picture of the check, but Nin and Elton both look tense. A lot of problems here with Eater of Names. What is that, an Indian name? Scarpa says with a cruel laugh. Everyone around him is listening, but no one is laughing. He's done this before, you realise, fishing for information by talking loudly and seeing who picks a fight. Conrad starts texting again, eyes on Scarpa. Scarpa watches Conrad as he continues his patter. Elton leaves the wall to approach you and Melody. Daphne says there's a huge information search in the Umbra, he says, raising his voice over Scarpa's ranting in Nin's guitar. She needs something so she can triangulate. I don't know, something. Says it looks like a police scanner. I'm going to get it from her car. Phones boop while you stand there, unable to see or say anything. You yip, trying to ask what they're reading on their phones. Something in the woods? Great, Melody says, reading her text. One of us should stand guard outside while the other relays Daphne's gadget. Elton says. Nin can't see Conrad from where she is, only this yelling asshole, Melody says, gesturing towards Scarpa. I'll stay. Why can't... Because if I leave, guys will try to follow me to the car. Oh, right, Elton says. Everyone needs more information. First, I start communicating everything I've learned. I'll sprint through the woods with Daphne's gadget while Elton stands guard outside. I search outside for clues about what's watching us while Elton helps Daphne. I sit close to Scarpa. I'm not going to do anything. I just want to be ready. I guess we could try to communicate. Because I can't go anywhere right now, can I? Half in cash now will finalize the transfer. Okay. Why is there an ad about to start? What the fuck? No. Stop. That should not be happening. 1 second. No. Stop it. Okay. Is there an add-on? Is there not? I don't fucking know. Okay. I think we're good. I must have turned it on when I was fucking about with the settings the other day. Okay. So I'm good to fuck about. I'm going to be best going to have a fight. But also Scarpa's here. And he's going to get himself fucking killed. But he was an asshole. And we got a new pack now, motherfuckers. Let's go with Daphne's gadget. What am I even getting? Elton asks into his phone as you and he head out the door and cross the parking lot. No, Celine is going to bring it. Daphne's car flashes its ice blue lights and Elton opens the trunk, rummages around and retrieves a nylon bag. This is it, Elton says, strapping the bag securely onto your back. Straight north, 1/4 mile. She's got the place lit up, so you should be able to see it, but she says hurry. You chuff, then take off after Elton. Or take off as Elton turns to watch the woods. Trees streak past you, black in the moonlight, as you lope through the cold November night, quiet, quick, and silent as an arrow. In moments, you spot some LEDs atop a hill to your right, zigzagging up a grassy slope until you spot Daphne. I'm gonna blow my nose again. Ah! Standing in front of a science thing of some kind. Like a little antenna with lights on it that spins? Maybe you're getting dog brain, but you've got no idea what you're looking at. But Daphne's face is grave. Her HR training means she normally remembers her banal... banal? Is that how you say that? I think it is. I'm probably correct. But she barely looks at you as she removes your backpack and pulls something that looks like a car stereo from it. Thanks, Celine, she mumbles, not even looking at you. Get back to... She trails off, working face grim. You don't see Podge. Isn't he supposed to be helping Daphne? Wherever he is, you need to go get back to Conrad before he becomes suspicious. You retrace your steps, then slip back into Esther's when someone goes out. And I mean, this guy was all over the place 5 years ago, Scarpa says, scanning the crowd with Cold, hard eyes despite his big, friendly smile. You can see Melody and Nin watching him, and as you look around, several other people are standing against the walls, like Elton was, watching the strange scene unfold. Neo-Albion? Nin is covering Sweet Jane, which has lured most of the girls who like girls away from Melody and towards the stage, giving the Philodox room to look around. And no one remembers him. Isn't that weird? They don't even take him off of YouTube. You can still search for each of names and find this guy yelling about space travel. It'll never work. There's too much radiation, blah, blah, blah. Always on the same shit. It's a secular religion. Scarpa says with a laugh. Then he coughs and takes a long swig of beer. Something is wrong with this guy, Melody says. Remember the hog throne? I think we need to get ready to get out of here. To get everyone out of here. Check the exits for... The air grows rigid with spiritual proximity of the Weaver. Melody's phone boops again. I don't know what any of that means, Daphne, she snarls. She doesn't elaborate as Scarpa clears his throat and goes right back to doing impressions. What's weird is that Podge searched all the usual search engines for Eater of Names without success. How did Scarpa find him? You'd consider changing, but Conrad is now watching Scarpa while texting frantically. Nin finishes her song and shifts her weight as if she's getting ready to change right in front of her fans. Oh! I gotta make sure I go home with him, dude. I'm gonna stick close to Conrad. Frantically texting, reeking of chemical stimulants, Conrad nonetheless looks reassured when he sees you. He grabs your leaf off the sticky floor, loops it loosely around one wrist, and keeps texting, eyes never leaving Scarpa. So why doesn't he show himself, Scarpa says, with the hectoring tone of a conservative talking head on cable news. A few years ago, he was all, we are prisoners on this blackening blue globe, and he coughs again, finishes his beer, waving for another one. Why spread our poison to the stars? This is the price you pay for everything you've been given. His voice changes halfway through, and he coughs again. Oh, I think they've infected him. Then looks around as if he doesn't know where he is, suddenly afraid, eyes watering. Maybe there are no stars out there at all. We have let humanity dictate what is true for too long. A ripple passes over the skin of his face, and Conrad jumps, nearly dropping his phone. But no one else seems to notice anything strange. Why have we tolerated their naming of things for so long? Scarpa says, his voice suddenly deeper, his eyes wide and terrified, and then his eyes go blank. We are their jailers, but we have failed in our duty. We have let their mind children spread. No more, no more. They thought I was dead, but some dreams cannot. Then Scarpa's mouth splits down the middle, and a snow-white lupine jaw smeared with blood and filth pushes out of his skull, followed by burning green eyes. People finally start to scream, oh, fuck me! What the fuck? What is this? Did he just, like, climb out of his body? Like, maybe he's alive because of the stories people tell about him and they remember him. Oh my god. Imagine it, Eater of Names roars, rising to his full height. Wait, I'm going to put on the very spooky music, I guess. This is a little bit too chill for what the fuck's going on right now. Where is it? Okay, we'll do this one, I guess. This one feels very spooky. Imagine it, Eater of Names roars, rising to his full height so his shaggy head scrapes the ceiling, and his burning green eyes illuminate the bar. Everyone freezes again. Screams suddenly cut off. Imagine that in your arrogance you sought to escape your mother, Earth. First you tried to flee into space. Now you try to flee into information. You want to infect the entire universe with your chattering. You think you're people, that you have souls, that you should continue forever. Spread forever. You're nothing. Your thoughts are just the intersection of the only three things on this dead earth that are real. You will pay the price for your delusion. Chunks of the bar rip away and stick onto Eater of Names. They turn green hot, and you know that's not possible. That there's red hot and white hot, but no green hot. But the chunks burn with green fire as they fuse an inch from his fur. The bartender ducks behind the bar as patrons shriek. The bones of their faces wrench free and drape themselves like a mantle over the werewolf's shoulder, then burn and blacken to form a black spiral across his chest. The black spiral, you realize, the horrid sign of the worm-sworn werewolves. In seconds, 5 more people have joined Scarpa, boneless heaps on the floor. An Eater of Names wears a bone-white articulated suit. Blood thins around his face and forms a perfectly clear bubble. More matter, human flesh and bar detritus fall towards Eater of Names as if he were a collapsing star. You feel your own flesh loosening. Then a whole table suddenly hits him, knocking him against the shredded remains of the bar. Globs of meat and wood fall to the ground and splatter at your feet. Enough, Melody says, rising up in Krynos form. Fuck yes! Here we go. He looks so... The character design is a little bit goofy with the helmet, but it's sick as fuck, actually. Both you and Nin were nearly as frozen as the terrified humans, but now the Galliard is shifting into her colossal hispo form. Coughing and snarling at the trash stink of the green flames. The survivors scream and run for the exits as Eater of Names recovers his balance. He drifts a few inches above the ground as if heedless of Earth's gravity. He's about to say more when gunfire nearby almost deafens you. Conrad holds his 45 in both hands, squeezing off round after round at Eater of Names. You can't tell if any hit the werewolf, but Conrad's panic shooting blows the bartender's head off. Oh, fuck. Biting back my fear, I charge through the corrosive green flames to attack Eater of Names. I shift into my direwolf form, throw myself through the flames to get the black spiral dancer. A direct attack is foolish. I rush in, snapping, then dodge and hope to let Ning flank the bad spiral dancer. Yeah, we gotta fight as a pack, I think. I'm done with Conrad and that part of the plan. I quickly drag the technician to the ground before his panic gunfire hurts anyone else. I lead people out of the door to safety, howling so they follow me. A black spiral dancer. No thanks, I heard under the table. Charisma leadership feels spicy if I were any good at that, which I'm not. Let's do Dex Athletics, I think. You leap, then dart through the vile green flames, coming in low and fast around the bar. Eater of Names lunges for you with black claws that emerge from his armored gauntlet. Misses and receives a vicious kick for his trouble. The restaurant isn't that big, and he's having trouble maneuvering around the bar. You use that to your advantage, skidding only a little on a chunk of scarpa. Holy shit. The black spiral dancer finally manages to grab you by the scruff, just as Nin and Melody slam into Eater of Names simultaneously, blasting through the wall in a shower of shattered bottles. And out into the parking lot. Glass rains down as the black spiral dancer's helmet shatters. Nin and the black spiral dancer, excuse me, roll, snapping and slashing in a hurricane of teeth and claws. When Eater of Names shoves Nin away, Melody slashes him across the back. He drifts away, floating a few inches above the ground, surrounded by spinning suspended chunks of his armor. He's not invincible, you realize, as you and Nin circle to flank the armored monster. Your blood is up, your rage burning, but Melody turns to you and manages to snarl a single word. Conrad. She wants you to follow the tech. The Philodox and Nin move to flank the black spiral dancer. Melody seems confident, but you have no idea if they can handle Eater of Names, and however many of those moth things are out in the woods. But you watch the black spiral dancer as he slowly falls backward, his helmet shattered, his spacesuit, or whatever it is, torn and shredded. Nin gets between you and Eater of Names, which leaves you to learn more about Neo Albion. But where are the others? Elton, Daphne, and Podge still aren't accounted for. Conrad's lifted truck rolls past. Go, Melody roars. Conrad screeches to a halt. Tell me you're smart enough to get in, he shouts at you. My allies have this. I hop into the truck. I have to know where he's going. I get in. No way am I staying here with a black spiral dancer. I follow Conrad. Forget looking for clues. I need to kill this black spiral dancer. I gotta trust him. You jump into the back of his rig. Yes, he screams, stomping the accelerator so hard that you almost roll out of the open tailgate. He clips a Harley on his way out, not even slowing down as the rider goes down hard and other bikers scramble to help him and accelerates onto the main road. Okay. Conrad's huge black truck roars south towards the center of Whately. Whately? Cutting through around slower drivers as you splay your forelegs trying to keep balance in the cargo bed. You can see the technician in the front fumbling for a phone, then a pistol. The truck's dash says he's making a call, and from his gestures you can tell he's talking to someone. The same person he talked to in the bathroom. A truck up ahead spins out and crashes into a guardrail. You drop just as Conrad wrenches the wheel to get around it. When you look up, something is following you, black against the stars. It looks like a moth. Its wings tattered and asymmetrical, but then you see its human-like face with its blank, staring eyes, and the way it flies is like a trick of your vision. It drifts, its ragged wings not really catching the wind, maintaining its distance behind you. It dives just as you spot it, scything claws aimed to your throat. You drop and its claws shear a trunk off the back of the truck. The foam more rises, circles, then drops for you again. I can dodge this thing all night. I get ready to hop out of the way again. Conrad's the one with the gun. I howl to get his attention, encourage him to shoot the foam more. It's a risk, but I grab the foam more between my jaws and bite down. We're just going to keep losing bits of the truck, so I'm going to have a nom. The moth foam more dives again, and you surprise it by leaping. Your jaws shut inches below its legs. It regains altitude, then slices through the air in an aerobatically impossible horizontal sweep, leading with its claws. You let it go over your head that time, since an impact would fling you right out of the truck. And the foam spirals up, then drops down and lands in the cargo bed. Now, you leap and your jaws close around one of its hideous limbs. You bite down and rip the arm thing off, then spit it out. The foam turns to flee, but you leap on it from behind, shredding with your claws and then bite into its fragile wing, ripping it off. A vile, high-pitched keening finally draws Conrad's attention. He hits the brakes and spins out. You drop low and hold on with your jaws. The maimed Fomor's wings rip away, leaving you with a mouthful of transparent membrane as it flies out the back. Then the truck lurches to a halt. You peer around the cab. The Fomor lies in the grass beside the road, one wing ripped away, badly hurt. The Fomor rises onto its one good leg. Conrad fumbles for his pistol in the cab, but then another vehicle rolls down the road and he hesitates. It's Daphne Clear's electric car. Its front end caved in, its windshield covered in webbing and gore. She hops out the window as it drifts off the side of the road, her movement sleek and spider-like as she's in her glabro form. Conrad has opened his door and planted one boot on the running board. He sees the silvery pistol she's holding, but he seems too stunned to aim at either the Fomor or the Glasswalker. That's when the Fomor glides across the street as if pulled by a string, its one good claw aimed for Daphne's throat. The Glasswalker calmly raises her silver pistol and shoots the Fomor in the thorax. It explodes into flowers. You blink, then rub your muzzle as the smell hits you, the smell of 1,000 different blooms from all over the world. They swirl across the empty street, rise into the black sky, settle on the asphalt. Nothing remains of the Fomor. Daphne glances at her ruined car, then at Conrad, still frozen with one foot on the running board. Hell of a night, she says. Yeah, Conrad says. He's still holding his 45 like it's a sandwich he's forgotten to finish eating. That your dog? She asks, nodding to you in the cargo bed. Yeah, Conrad says. That's a good dog. Daphne walks without another word into the woods on the far side of the road, leaving only flowers and her shattered car. That's sick as fuck. Okay, 1 second. I'm so sorry. I'm so sick. Conrad never takes it above 20, and he almost drifts into a cornfield when a police cruiser screams past. He parallels a river for a few minutes. Is that Esther Brook? Before he finally turns onto a side road. After 5 minutes, he rolls up the driveway of a new, expensive-looking ranch house across from a decaying farm. Neo Albion pays even its code grunts well. This McMansion can't be cheap, even in the middle of nowhere. You notice the street sign, Claverack Road, and how close the trees are. That might help your escape when that becomes necessary. The truck stops outside the two-car garage. Conrad gets out and throws up a thin stream of beer that drips down onto his combat boots. This man is pathetic. He finally remembers you as you hop down onto the asphalt. Conrad is still in shock from the combination of delirium and the ordinary effects of an adrenaline rush. You'd almost pity him if he weren't working, however indirectly, for a werewolf hunting outfit and connected to the cult of Fenris. As is, you take the opportunity to study your enemy. Conrad is able to drive, and after some fumbling, he manages to get his phone to open the reinforced lock on his front door. You pad under the ring camera, pausing for only a moment when you notice the strip of silver all the way around the door. Silver doesn't affect you in your natural forms, so you make sure to step directly on it where the camera can see. Then you're in Conrad's sparsely furnished bachelor pad. I'm worried about humans piercing the veil. Is there any Garu-specific data inside I can get rid of quickly? I sniff around for anything explicitly supernatural here. Worm, corruption, weird tech. What about computers? If I can get away from Conrad and change back, can I search New Albion's systems from here? How hurt is Conrad? Can I kill him in lupus form if I need to? Let's have a little sniff. Let's do a sniff. Neither your sensitive nose nor your keen eyes find anything explicitly supernatural or unexpected downstairs, though you find more silver around the door that leads outside from the kitchen. Someone knows about werewolves, but you don't think it's Conrad. You're almost certain that the tech himself isn't Bane-possessed or hiding real occult knowledge downstairs. It's just a bachelor pad, unfurnished except for the state-of-the-art entertainment center and scattered hobby electronics. Conrad looks at you as if trying to figure out why you're here. The delirium has slagged his short-term memory, but he doesn't seem frightened of you. The tech stumbles up the carpeted steps to the second floor, and you follow him to another sprawling, barren, open floor plan room. Cardboard file boxes on disused pool table are labelled Huvud Development. That's the Cult of Fenris company. Now we're getting somewhere. The technician strips, leaving his clothes on the synthetic carpet, and not even looking your way, revealing a gym rat physique and multiple tattoos, including an iron cross and SpongeBob dressed as a riot cop. What the fuck? He leaves his gun on the computer table between a printer and a new digital camera, fumbles with his phone until new metal blares from the house speakers, drops the phone on a leather couch, and stumbles into the foam marble bathroom to shower. Finally, a break. The bathroom door is open, but the music should drown out any sounds you make. Conrad's brain is so fragged that he left his phone unlocked, and you nudge your way into a closet. There are clothes for a quick getaway in Homid form, but you don't have much time. It might be time to ditch your lupus form at least for a few minutes. What's all the equipment? I quickly check it before doing anything else, anything useful or incriminating. I use Conrad's phone to access his work email, then I access and transfer everything I can find on Neo Albion. That could be a good one. I call on Al and search the Huvud development boxes for important addresses. Maybe this, because that would lead us to the Cult of Fenris. Let's look at the... This and this. What's our resolve investigation? It's pretty good. Let's try this really quick. Whoop! You pop the top of the nearest cardboard box and rifle through the contents. Receipts for computer equipment. Every company needs computers, so that's not useful. Next box, custodial subcontracting. Potentially interesting. You commit company names to memory, but not immediately valuable. The third box, addresses for future development plans. Emails for local business owners involved with the development. Helicopter and satellite photos of development sites. Notes on potentially military-style fortifications for this site. This is it. You grab maybe 100 pages of photographs and notes, including financial transfer records. There might be illegal payoffs. How to carry them. You find an old school backpack in the closet and stuff everything in there. When you put the cardboard lids back on the file boxes, everything looks the same. You're just considering whether to grab some clothes and bug out or turn back into a wolf and risk an extended stay when a phone in the other room rings. When you approach it, you glance out the second-story window as two giant SUVs pull into Conrad's driveway. Neo Albion is here in force. The landline goes to voicemail. Conrad's cell on the couch starts to ring. Two men in black windbreakers and baseball caps, like the ones you remember guarding Everlight HQ in Hollyoak, approach the front door. One more circles around to the kitchen door. A moment later, Heinrich and a tough-looking white man that you don't recognize step out of the back of one SUV. He's not answering, the unfamiliar man tells the cultists. He's wearing a windbreaker but no cap and seems to answer directly to Heinrich. A muted conversation, you think. They're considering whether to recon in force or just ring the doorbell. Conrad rummages around in the bathroom as Neo Albion moves into position. You can't play dog anymore. You have to get out now. You pull on some loose work pants, a windbreaker and boots that don't fit well, then head to the far end of the house, a completely empty room except for a nightstand with a landline, and check the window. It slides open, offering roof access. I bounce across the roof and onto the branches of a nearby tree, keeping above the Neo Albion guards. I hide patiently on the roof so I can listen to Heinrich sneaking away only once I learn more. Let them follow me into the woods. It should be easy to use my woodcraft to lose them by the river. Only one guard at the kitchen door. I can clobber him and escape in the confusion. Now's my chance. I shift into my Krynos form directly onto Heinrich and that Neo Albion officer. I bet I can take it out at least one. I pick up Conrad's gun and shoot the guards at the kitchen door, then blast my way into the woods. Resolve and clandestine. Let's have a look. Resolve is 2. Clandestine is 2. So we have a good chance. Let's see. So it could be this or Dex Athletics. I mean, yeah. Let's give it a go. You can't get caught in Conrad's house, but if you get onto the roof, you might be able to learn something. You'll pull yourself up and out of the window, then scout the rooftops. The most important part of remaining hidden is knowing where and how you can move. So you peer into the various windows from the roof, trying to figure out where a meeting might take place. You also note that you can use the garage roof to escape into the woods. Perfect. Negotiations below have concluded. Heinrich walks up to the front door and rings the doorbell. Conrad shouts and complains all the way downstairs. You hear him open the door. His griping immediately stops. It's you, Conrad gasps. Heinrich doesn't respond, just shoves past the technician. You climb down to the first floor window and listen in. Him, Conrad is saying. White fur, green eyes, and he... Why were you there? Henrik snaps. It's all real, Conrad mutters, then something inaudible. Why? Henrik roars, more inaudible. A dog? It's like Henrik can't believe what he's hearing. What color? Where is it now? You still can't hear Conrad. There's a good chance he's being strangled. One of them is here, Henrik snaps to his lieutenant. Then his voice drops as he issues order. You've learned 2 more things hiding on the roof. That even Neo-Albion's basic texts know Eater of Names, at least as a rumor. And that Heinrich, unlike Conrad, is smart enough to connect a big dog to a Garu. You can hear movement downstairs, and Heinrich will know how to hunt you. A quick drop from the garage roof takes you down to the backyard. From there, you hurry into the woods. You walk through the woods until you reach the I-91. You follow the highway north to a 24-hour gas station where you're able to call Podge. His truck rolls into the parking lot 10 minutes later. Okay, this is... There we go. Last of my soda. Hopefully I don't hiccup anymore. I'm real mad. I'm so grumpy. Okay. No casualties or serious injuries among the Garu, though Daphne looks troubled. Melody tells you that her Dobermans died fighting the Femorai. Oh! The Silver Fang looks pale and washed out after her time in Crenus form, with heavy circles like bruises under her eyes. Elton looks a little better, though he keeps the dignity of his shadow robe, while Melody is dressed in a torn North Face fleece and yoga pants. She has Conrad's money, though, or she robbed the till after the fight. No, it's Conrad's money. Daphne and Podge, who prefer their glabro forms when there's trouble, don't look much better than Melody or Elton. Though Podge is awake enough to drive, you tell everyone what happened at Conrad's house. Everyone listens, though so much has happened that you're not sure how much they absorb. You're not even sure how much of it you absorbed tonight, and you were there. Scarpa's death, Eater of Names, the Femorai, Heinrich, and Neo-Albion. How did Eater of Names come back? That's the mystery of mysteries, and I want a serious answer, not more guesses. Daphne, Podge, what did you learn about the pattern line? We have all this information, and now we need to synthesize it. Any chance you two stopped Eater of Names already? I asked Melody and Elton. I'm terrified of what his return means. I'm worried about the connection between the cult of Fenris and Neo-Albion. I think Heinrich's rage-fueled ideology is corrupting regular people. Okay. This is interesting, because I think Eater of Names came back by, like, Scarpa telling, like, his story and, like, knowing about him. It's like a memory worm or something. Like, he's in your head, you know who he is, you know his name, like, you know his story and what he looks like, and he could, like, erupt out of anyone when he dies. It would be interesting. Let's go with this one. First, I'm sorry about Scarpa, Melody says. You nod. Silver Fangs are habitually polite, and you don't know if Melody knows about Scarpa's campaign of online abuse. But what I know about your old pack gives me an idea about Eater of Names, Melody continues. Black Tarn fell into the Umbra, but what if Eater of Names escaped there deliberately before his apparent death? God knows how many Black Sorrow dancers might be lurking in the Umbra, waiting to re-embody. But why Scarpa, you ask? Clay ate from that bane and became infected, Elton says, flipping to the first few pages of the book of January. But he just died. That's what Scarpa said in his emails, you say. You let the possibility that Scarpa was lying hang in the air. We need to know the vector. Scarpa's death is like how banes infect people or animals and create Femorai. But even if Names was able to infect a Garu and then emerge whole, not as some kind of amalgam. Neither should be possible. We need to know what made Scarpa vulnerable. What did you record? Yeah, what did you record the pattern line doing while Eater of Names came back? Because there was sort of like a weird thing just before it happened. We saw a huge data spike. Maybe he's like become data. He's become an idea. We saw a huge data spike, Podge says, that we'll try to analyze later if we can. It's not like this was ordinary network activity, but get this. The moment Eater of Names came back, the whole pattern line crumbled. So the whole point of those spirit lines was to restore Eater of Names. Either yes, that was the point from the beginning, or Eater of Names took over the pattern line and used it to fuel his resurrection. Podge glances at Daphne as if she might be able to say which, but the glasswalker looks haunted, forehead against the passenger side window. Her puppies died. I feel really bad that her doggos died. That's so fucked up, dude. The conversation falters because everyone is too tired to speak. Melody peels off your share of Conrad's money. Elton grabs his and counts every 20. Oh, hi, Billy! The fancy gentleman frog going, I don't know, that's kind of wild. Oh, Jesus. Sorry that I am so, like, snotty and gross right now. I don't know what's happening. Daphne asks Podge to drop her off directly at GRC Media. You don't have to impress the boss, Daphne. You are the boss, Podge says. She ignores him, swipes through and stumbles inside. He watches her go in, then shakes his head. Spider is nervous, he says. Podge drives back to your cabin where he makes himself a pot of coffee and fires up his laptop. Roscoe's van pulls up a moment later and he heads inside to check on you. Melody eats an entire block of cheese and falls asleep on your bed next to Nin. Elton, also exhausted by the ravages of his Kreenis form, silently makes and then silently eats a 6-header omelette without salt or pepper or cheese. He limps to the lumpy couch in the living room and collapses. You check on Podge upstairs, still in his Homid form. He's curled up on the floor like a small dog around his laptop, surrounded by his out-of-date CPUs and external hard drives. I look at Podge's laptop and check how the pattern line analysis is going. I read the Havud development documents I took from Conrad's house. Scarpa died so the Eater of Names could live. I go back through Scarpa's emails looking for clues. Enough adventure for one night. I have work tomorrow. I find a free corner and go to bed. Let's read through this stuff. The information you have is fragmentary and disorganized, but it indicates that Havud Development, the Cult of Fenris company, has moved aggressively into the Broadbrook area. Maps indicate that they're buying up land. I get to do my favorite thing today. Last minute LARP prep. Yay! That's my favorite too. Until the point where I'm like, it's like 3 minutes before I have to go. Where are my extra socks? I've got to have my extra sockies going on. Sorry, where was I going? Buying up land as close as possible to the corrupted Cairn. The very place you and your fellow Garu can't reach. You examine each picture in turn as you scan them, with Podge's printer so the others have access to them. Security plans for undeveloped compounds near Broadbrook mention Neo Albion, and someone has scribbled a note on a year-old power consumption prediction. Loop in Mike S. Could that be Director Sullivan of Everlight? A map of Everlight facilities across western Massachusetts strongly indicates that the late director's company is involved with both Havud Development and Neo Albion, and Everlight is connected to the pattern line, which apparently helped resurrect Eater of Names. This is all speculation. You need to talk to some of the people involved, the ones who are still alive and don't know who you are. This calls for old-fashioned investigation work, combined with a great deal of misrepresenting who you are and what you want. You flip through the photographs and find a place to start. A helicopter or drone photo from just 3 months ago shows the office of Crater Security, with Vindlerson, the huge cultist, standing out front in a bad suit. Another aerial photograph gives you the address just south of Northampton. Even if Conrad's address doesn't yield any more locations, you have a place to check out, assuming you want to test your talent for investigation and deception. Otherwise, it might be easier to learn more about the pattern line. I've been up all night, so I have to find some time to sleep too. Have a nap! Have a nap. Being a little bit late for LARP setup won't be, like, hopefully the worst thing in the world, unless you're the person who's bringing all of the LARP setup. And you can always nap, like, once you're there as well. Morning dawn's so cold that you can feel it radiating through your cabin's thin walls. You get up and find Podge and Elton downstairs in the dungeon-like basement fighting with the heater. Maybe it's the oil, Podge says, flicking the oil gauge. Check outside? I need to go to work, Patrick, Elton says, and I'm too tired to think about how this house relies on oil. I've installed all the solar and wind power I can, Podge says. Tell Nin She needs to go to check out Esther's with Melody, Elton says, turning around carefully on the crooked and splintery wooden staircase. Good luck with all this, mate. He kisses your cheek, grabs a neglected bird bagel from the toaster, and catches a ride to Roscoe into town. You have to make a whole sword? What the heck? That's crazy. That feels like more than the day before LARP start, last minute LARP prep thing. Oh, but yes, we got the kiss on the cheek. We haven't fumbled too badly with Shadow Daddy. Your hours at Gorski Manor aren't strict, but you need to check the pipes in case this cold lingers, and you need to make sure the snowblower is working. The first thing you do is lean your bike against the wall and crawl the alleys behind the major street for cast-off furniture or home furnishings, since the coming winter means there might be not be as much stuff soon. You find a mechanical keyboard among a tangle of wires next to a dumpster and grab it in case Podge wants it. Work is a shit show. Another dementia patient got out and Gorski Manor is crawling with cops. 2 of them sit you down and interrogate you about where you were, cheering up half your shift. You give them nothing because you don't know anything, but they act like you personally killed and ate this 90-year-old woman. By the time you're free, the cold has caused... That's another suspicion why I think that the big boss of this place might be a vampire. I think he might be eating the dementia patients. As, like, his way of, like, trying to ethically snack on people, which is kind of fucked up. By the time you're free, the cold has caused the pipes in the work closet out back to freeze. So Ernesto and Charlie, the orderly, are both in terrible moods. You check the snowblowers to make sure they're good, but someone broke into the shed with bolt cutters and stole a bunch of equipment, so you have to report that. It's past midnight by the time you finish filling out requisition forms. They never find the dementia patient. The cold never lets up, and yet the wind stinks like hot trash left on summer pavement, irritating your sinuses and making you feel raw and queasy. Eater of Names is out there in the world now, you know, making it worse, making it sick, and you have no idea how to stop him. The first thing you do in the morning is deposit your share of Conrad's money. Podge manages to get the heater working the previous night, but you want to hold on to cash in case it goes down again. I checked my phone. From Ashley Nin. Investigate. Oh! Her first name's Ashley? Her, like, fake name's Ashley? That's very cute. She CC'd just about everyone she knows on the far side of the Vale, including Roscoe. Hello everyone, I hope this email finds you well. She's so wonderful. The weather today is cool and misty. Trevor and I just played a show at Esther's. It was very nice. The people were friendly and they liked our music. I had to play some Tom Petty, but that was okay. Afterwards, I scouted with Al and found that the pattern line disappeared underneath the building. The building has a basement and I explored it, but there's only beer and wine, so I don't know where the pattern line goes. Into the Umbra? I could not check. I also explored the woods looking for creatures, but there's only the spider webs and some dead animals. Ashley Nin, and she's got her email. No, she's got the email, like the web address of her band. That's so cute. It looks like she and Elton argued about her approach, but this is all old news. Identity of the biker. She CC'd all the Garu on this email. I have identified one of the many photographed outside Esther's bar. He is Conrad Merritt, computer technician at the Albion Security Company. Oops, you probably should have read this before going into Esther's. You skim the rest of the email, but yes, Miss Clear is just wearing what you already know. Email from Patrick Hodge. I talked with Gaffney Clear and I have the smartest idea ever. Okay, we're doing it. I've been talking to Conrad Merritt and 2 things are clear. First, the whole Neo Albion operation is sewed up so tight that he might be our only way in. Seriously, I've tried tracking him down. Other names I've scouted the Air Force bases. Oh yeah, this is... the guy might be their only weak link. Second, he's not a regular Estes, but he's used the place for drops, and he wants to buy something. A wolf. Oh no, you keep reading. Here's the plan. One of us goes home with him. All we need is one way in and we can blow this whole thing wide open. Yeah, so I missed these emails. You're doing well. You've been able to keep at least $1,000 in the bank account. Yay! Let's see. Do we have 14 days of training? Excellent. Let's try to get our, like, stamina and stuff up a bit more, I guess. But also, I kind of want to go to... Because what was the one? There's the Archer Scroll. What does Who Ye do? Only offers this gift to Black Furies who have demonstrated their glory in battle. You have, and you also show a keen understanding of humanity. Your accuracy with a bow or any other fired or thrown weapon works automatically as long as you haven't lost the wolf. I do... I do like this one. I think it's Glory, right? Yeah, 3 days of Glory. Let's do this one. You purchase the scroll, return to your cabin, and hang it up in your room. Then you sit on a torn pillow before it and study it, waiting for Hu Yi to tell you what he wants. The painting shifts, the perspective changing, suddenly to a partly overhead perspective, looking down on rivers and gorges, with Hu Yi aiming up at you. Slowly, symbols form an answer to your query. What do you want? Slowly, one line at a time, and at last, in that ancient Chinese script, no, it's a map of your house. Hu Yi wants a specific place in your house. Ah, you see, in the basement. You sweep the basement and place the scroll on the north wall so Hu Yi can look south. Then you spend the next few days arranging matters there to his satisfaction. A table with a vase in the southwest corner, a red cloth between Hu Yi and the water heater, some mirrors on the walls. You don't understand the antiquated feng shui that Hu Yi demands, but after several nights of work with Podge, occasionally running out to find what the great archer demands, you feel the whole house lock into place, like you've got a firing solution. Pleased, Hu Yi offers his blessing. He just wants a nice house. Increase your composure or resolve to be able to earn more gifts. Okay, composure or resolve. Let's have a look. That is not this. I think raising resolve is going to be a good one. So we went to Roscoe. Let's pop something in resolve. Trained in archery and survival, you and Hobland both know the best way to hone someone's patience and focus. So you're not surprised when you put in a blind not far from his compound, but you don't get a bow. Instead, Hobland tasks you with recording everything you notice. The first day lasts 12 hours in the freezing cold, and you have to compete with the audio-visual recording equipment Hobland has set up near you. You record every animal you see, everything you hear in a little spiral-bound notebook. Not good enough. The next shift is 16 hours, then 36. It's brutal, but you keep recording. And after hours of this misery, you start to react accordingly to everything worth noting. Your notebook expands, catching animal sightings, the occasional bird, the distant sound, and the faint smell of diesel trucks. When you hand your notebook to Hobland after your 5th trip into the blind, he finally nods, satisfied. Excellent. Okay. Maybe we do more combat? Let's go to Lucinda. Lucinda is nowhere to be found. That's weird. Belton has encouraged you to see events like this as an opportunity to patrol your new territory. So you visit Lucinda's friend, the apothecary, score some herbal tea and biscotti, and make a few casual inquiries. The apothecary tells you that Lucinda is antiquing. Antiquing, you say? Lucinda is a palace, and most of her family died. She has enough antiques. But like the other way, trying to sell. She's on Market Street right now, I think, hawking her dusty wares. Finishing your tea and storing your biscotti for later, you thank Lucinda's friend and make a circuit of the nearby street, checking in on the other artists and oddballs. No obvious occult conspiracies here, no one dumping poison into the water supply. So you head to Market Street. In a crumbling brick building off the main drag, you spot a hand-painted sign. Palace Antiques, by appointment only. No phone number. The sign is barely visible through the dusty window. Heated shapes behind it are obscured in darkness so that you can't make anything out. Okay, so Lucinda has a sideline. That's good to know in case you find yourself suddenly unemployed, though you think she'll still make time to train you. Let's check out her antique store. After a long day at Gorski Manor, you investigate the shop. The sign now has a phone number and a QR code. You check it out on your phone and reach Palace Antiques, which lists furniture, tool cases, clocks, and other treasures. You can buy them right from the website, and Lucinda will deliver them anywhere in the valley. You think she built the website's framework on those online ordering menus every restaurant set up during COVID. 1 second. Did I just... My brain is full of soup. Prices are more than you can afford, but pretty cheap for the quality and history on offer. As you browse on your phone, you catch a gleam inside and knock on the window. You catch Lucinda's face looking pissed off. By appointment only, the sign says. But she brightens when she sees you. She disappears and props open the side door, hidden in a graffiti-marked alley where she's parked her van. Hey, come on in. Welcome to the shop. Sorry about the mess, Lucinda says as you wiggle between a chest of drawers and an overstuffed chair. Unlike the antique store on Rosemary Street, this display room is clean and neat despite the clutter, with almost no dust. So the first thing you notice is the ticking of all the tall case clocks. You've opened an antique shop, you ask, looking around. Well, I think shop is overselling things a bit. We've accumulated so much clutter over the years, and mostly I'm just trying to get rid of it so I don't have to pay for the storage space. It's actually cheaper to rent a shop, so I'm refurbishing things, selling them cheap. Don't worry, Melody makes sure nothing is dangerous first. The big items, which Lucinda wants gone first, just have coloured tags, while the smaller and more valuable items have codes linked to price points on her app. Among the clutter of the free families, you spot a few items you remember seeing at the Rosemary Street store. Oh yeah, they're helping me organise. The price for their help is I have to move a bunch of expensive merchandise that no one on Rosemary Street can afford. She waves you into the back. The back room includes a locked avocado green strongbox with a note labelled no. Somehow you know it's Melody's handwriting. Must be Garu's stuff. There's also something called a microfiche reader, which reads those little plastic sheets that spies use in movies from the 1900s. As Lucinda demonstrates how to read old records using the strange pre-digital device, you realise what's going on. She's looking for an employee. So, what would I get paid? I guess someone needs to help make sure you don't sell talents to a human occultist. I'm pretty busy, you know. I'd rather focus on my own investigations. I'm not sure I need more human entanglements. What do I get paid? You mean hypothetically? If I needed someone to mind the store during pickups, I'll match whatever you're getting at Gorski Manor, plus I'll let you dig around in the cursed box. There's some good stuff in there, and some less good stuff. Lucinda looks away. What, you ask? There are just a lot of old records, Lucinda says. Unfinished works, jobs that didn't get finished because of the Battle of Graves Farm. Lots of graves when no one tamped down the earth, you know. It's not my business exactly, but I'd like someone to go through those records, just to make sure everyone who died is sleeping quietly. Where can I start, you ask? Really, whenever you have time. I have another girl who's willing to put in a few hours a week. She's done some work at the Rosemary Street antique store too. But I'd like someone who's, you know, beyond the veil to look things over. I need a few days to finalize my inventory count and talk with some people. I know about transporting some of the larger items. You don't drive, right? Sorry, you say. Yeah, give me a few days to fix my van up so it can transport fragile items and finalize the app. And I'll get you in here during business hours. I really want to get rid of the big items since they cost money to store. But if you can sell the smaller, more expensive stuff, I'm not going to complain about making money. You talk business, Jesus Christ! What the heck? Goat noises, where do I find the goat noises? What the heck? Apparently that's where you find the scream noise. Thanks, 3-Dick guy. What the heck? Hi, guys. I was reading. What the fuck? I wasn't paying attention to the activity thing out of the corner of my eye, so that did get me. I should tell you guys as well, I played Peak last night, the new update with Peak. And I something happened that I don't want to spoil for those in the chat, but it made me full, like, usually in like horror games and stuff, I don't full scream. It made me full scream. I freaked the fuck out. In terms of the goat noises, if you're on, I think it's on computer. I'm not sure if you can do it on, if you look at the channel points, there's a bunch of stuff. You got text to speech, you can bonk me with the horny stick. Look, wait. There we go, there's the bonk. Excellent. You can do, there's a bunch of stuff. Oh yeah, there's the Spider-Man no. Which is pretty funny. There's a bunch of different stuff. There's also stuff for biddies on there as well, if you want to support me, which would be very sweet, but is not necessary. What other stuff do I have? Oh yeah, you can bully me into taking a sippy, not a city. There's the honk. Oh, you have 0 channel points? Can I like give you channel points? That feels like I should be able to. It feels like wait. One sec. Let me just check the... You can type in the input box to see / give? Give? No, I don't know. Just channel points? No. I don't know. I don't know how to give you channel points. I'm so sorry, D&D Mage 97. But welcome. Hello. It's good to see you, buddy. We are playing some Werewolf, the Apocalypse. The Book of Hungry Names. I'm reading everybody a story because I'm so nice and so sweet. I'm just seeing the messages in the chat. You have completely derailed the stream as well, making noises. You have 10 frogs? Well, I'm so sorry. Do I have anything for 10 frogs? I don't think I do. And I also can't remember. Wait, let me check. Twitch. How to gift channel points. One sec. I want everybody to be able to scream at me. It might just be a case of you just having to, you know, drop a cheeky follow, maybe watch some of the stream. Oh, there we go. Yep. Hello. I see you guys. What the heck?
Favoritism.
There is a little bit of favoritism going on. I won't lie. You guys have just gotta watch the channel and deal with it. Also, I will take a sippy. Wait, where did my water go? Where did I put it? Oh, it's down here. Okay. There we go. I have sipped. I am also stretching. Ah! Oh, that actually worked a click out of my shoulders as well. Oh, that felt good. Thank you, Billy. Yeah, I'm hench. I'm strong. Ugh. But right, back to game. We're being werewolves. Also, D&D Mage, thank you for the follow. Is it gonna work? Wait, did I fix my alerts? Wait. I'm waiting for it. The true crime is following Grant's 300. Yeah, but you gotta save it. You gotta save it for... Oh my god. Has my chat been that colored the entire time? For fuck's sake. 1 second. I'm so grumpy. We're fixing it live, chat. We're fixing it live. There is, I will say, for a rather large amount of fucking... What is it? Channel points or whatever. You can, Wait, why can't I... Oh, there it is. Should be able to save that. There we go. Okay. Should be able to see the chat now. I love the fact that I can do things. Quick, everyone spam chat. I believe I have unleashed a monster. Oh, is it working? Oh, yes, I did it. It's in white. I'm so good at this game. I'm so good at doing this. I'm good. Sorry. No. In the bits section for like 2,000 bits or something, you can play the FBI open up. I wanted to put it at something really high so people wouldn't like spam it. 5 gifted subs is 20 pounds and gets you 2,000 frogs, which is 20 screams. A pound of screams is seriously worth it. Yeah, especially when you can do it when I'm not paying attention and I'm playing the game. Okay. We're going back to it. We're being little werewolf guys. Okay. You talk business for a few minutes, even squeeze a promise of commissions out of Lucinda, assuming you're able to sell for jewelry, books, and other small and valuable items. Lucinda makes sure you have a key, then sends you on your way as she returns to her inventory work. Actual criminals. I do know that Moggs had something in the range of like 3,000 channel points, and I set up the reason why we've got Rats Rule, Liz Nerd Suck up the top here. Is because there was a poll and I set it so you can use like 1 channel point per like vote or something, and Moggs was just spamming that shit while fighting Talon over the fact that Rats Rule and Lizards suck. Anyway, what are we gonna do? Oh my god! What the heck? D&D Mage just gifted subs. What the fuck? And you started a hype train? That's crazy. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. Yo. Holy. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. You didn't have to do that. I would have found a way eventually to give you points. What the fuck? Thank you so much, dude. Thank you for gifting to 3-Dit Guy, Xavier QQ1, Chriso _X, Sova Sovi, and Coco Bunny. Oh, it only counts one sub purchase. I only got 500 frogs. I am betrayed. I'm so sorry. Can I set up like a prediction? Wait, can I set up like a prediction where you guys can like wager your points? Will I get scared of a goat? A Giat. I put a Giat instead by accident. Wait, okay, how do I wait. Okay, we've entirely derailed the stream, but it's fine. The Great Gamba begins. It does indeed. Manage poll, manage prediction. We don't want summary. We want start prediction. Oh, here we go. Will the goat scare me? Scare me again this stream. Nope. Yep. And then we've got to have the customary rats rule. Liz nerds suck. We'll do it for fuck it. We'll do it for like 10 minutes. Please confirm the outcome within 24 hours at the end of the prediction window. Okay. Okay. Prediction started. It's Gamba time. I don't know how it works. Have fun. You guys gamble. I'm gonna have a quick look at I got 6 days of training. I got to check my phone. The 1,000 points already in Rats Rule Liz Nerds Suck is very funny. Okay, we still got like $600. Can I find the editor to spend more time with my pack mates? Let's have a chill with the pack mates. We just had something incredibly stressful. Your modest financial cushion means you can take some time off, and while you don't want a hangout session to cut into your training time, you should be able to find an hour or two here and there for one of your companions. Let's go with Shadow Daddy chat. Let's do it. Let's fucking go. Wait, can I also... Oh, I can't cast a prediction on my own channel. That's cringe. That's fucked up. Right, we're going with Shadow Daddy chat. Probably, but right now there's a minor crisis unfolding at the temple. Something about a corrupted idol. So can you spend time with Welton? Yes. Will it be a date? Not really. It'll be wizard stuff, but it'll be wizard stuff with Elton. Okay, we'll do that. It's a wild couple of days, and honestly, pretty fun. Some kind of Bane has infected a rat statue in Melody's temple, and while the Philodox has already smashed the statue, Banes are harder to get rid of than that. So you and Elton hit the books, looking for... You didn't get me. I saw it out of the corner of my eye. I'm reading. Calm down. Banes are harder to get rid of than that. So you and Elton hit the books, looking for more information about this unpleasant spirit. And then the real trick, making conceptual allowances for both Nin and Melody, who are on the front lines of this minor crisis. Nin's werewolf mysticism is familiar since you knew Black Tarn, and that approach is the closest thing you can get to normal werewolf belief. And Elton is aware that his occultism is the odd approach, not Nin's mysticism. But Melody, of course, is some kind of weird Gnostic. She doesn't believe in gods. And everything Elton digs up has to be run through the Philodox's heuristics. You're not a scholar, so you mostly handle the physical movement of books. What's this? Hello? A hype chest? What? Who's this diva emote? Choo-choo, I guess. Choo-choo? What do you mean? I don't know what this means. I've never had a hype train before. That was crazy. But thank you for the level 2 hype train, you guys. Oh my goodness. That's my first ever hype train. Oh, it's so cute. What the heck? Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there on whether the goat will scare me. You guys have only got a couple more minutes. You're not a scholar, so you mostly handle the physical movement of books. To and from the library. To and from the copier. It's frantic. Even with one of Elton's weird occult buddies helping out. But that whole process goes off without a hitch. After a few days, Melody gives the all clear. The Bane is no longer the problem. And looking back on it, you and Elton had a great time. So not exactly a date, but a high-energy adventure in the dusty stacks in the depths of Forbes' library. And did that cut into my... It didn't. So we've got 6 more days. Let's go to the barrows very quickly. Choo-choo, motherfuckers! Let's go! I remember seeing a niche labeled Wings of Smoke, and I know about a black-styled dancer called Breaker of Wings. I returned to that niche. Oh, so new things are starting to appear at the barrows. Watching her territory for skies, surveillance mains. Okay. You're pretty sure there's something there. On the other hand, you also know that any exploration will involve unearthing the dead, perhaps in a literal sense. You weigh your desire to know against the ugly revelation that might come from your excavation. I need to know, so I start digging. I can't let some monstrous threat lurk in our territory wherever tradition demands. I dig. I back off out of respect for the living and the dead. I'm not getting killed by the hungry dead down there. Let's back off for now. Let's choo-choo, motherfuckers! I'll allow it. I'll allow it just this once. How can there be profanity in my chat? Let's check the deep woods. So we can't get any of this right now. I go back through Scarpa's emails looking for clues about Eater of Names. Killed him. I find Roscoe's van. Let's go to Lucinda's studio and see. Can we upgrade our composure? We can. We could do composure. Can we do... Wait, sorry. I'm like flipping through all of this shit. We could do more combat. Which might be helpful. Although our aim is better, like... I think we're gonna leave combat for now. And... visit Lucinda. And do some composure training. I go through Scarpa's emails looking for clues about how Eater of Names killed him. Yeah, because for those of you who missed it, another werewolf was talking about this evil werewolf, this Black Sparrow dancer called Eater of Names, who I think I can show you a picture of. Journal. Eater of Names. Do we have it? We don't! That sucks. He's like this, he like ripped out of this person, like his werewolf snout like came out of this face and he like climbed out of this person. They like fell, like a bunch of mortals like fell over, their skin ripped off and started forming armor and a cloak on this thing. It was the sickest visual. We're pretty good friends with everybody at the moment as well. This is Shadow Daddy. Nin fucking loves my ass and I love Nin. Wait, let me show you guys the Shadow Daddy. Elton Day, my boy. Look at him! He's so fucking hot! Speaking of wood, look at my boy! Okay. I have been bonked. This is acceptable. You open up your laptop at lunch and reread everything. You begin your reread with the last email. Sick F you. I gonna rough with you, be your shit, you little fuckface. I'm gonna fuck you up once I get through with Langton. See you in Northampton, shiphead. Where all I be? At Jew Barrow, the old house where the wolf girl lives. Maybe I'll buy a burrito and say hello to Mr. Day. Anyone's guess. It's going to be a real fucking surprise. Who's Langton? See you soon, Celine. Real soon. He knows about the other Garu, but who or what is Langton? You search for it and find a shelter in Northampton. A place most homeless people around town try to avoid. Maybe one of Roscoe's bike path crust punks mentioned it, but you can't remember. You think you remember hearing about it when you first came here almost a year ago. Now, maybe Scarpa stayed there before his death. If he did, people there will remember his endless chatter, and you can learn how he came here and exactly what he was doing. You'll have to be comfortable moving among the desperate and dangerous fringe of both urban and rural society. You could do something else instead, like researching the pattern line. But if you go after Scarpa's ghost, you suspect you'll need all your street smarts and wilderness skills. That guy needs to watch their language. Honestly, the mouth and werewolves these days. He's a dick. Yeah, no, he's part of our old pack who was like raised us from when we were a kid, and our old pack fucking sucked. Let's have a quick look on here. What's our bank statement looking like? Uh-oh. Let's take a shift at Lucinda's antique store. You've exchanged a few emails with Lucinda. She wants you to work a breakfast to lunch shift to pull in the locals. You're right for a day when you're not working at Gorski Manor and don't have some other pressing crisis to deal with, then head to the shop on Market Street around 11. Lucinda isn't there, but there's a sense of a presence. Lucinda said someone else was working here, a local girl. She left her phone number on an index card, but no name. She must have been here recently, leaving behind a faint waft of perfume. The other clerks also left neat handwritten instructions about what you're allowed to sell and for how much. There's an iPad for making sales, but it's attached to an old-fashioned cash register, a huge, beautiful steel monster with clattering keys that you could probably sell for a lot of money. You don't actually expect to sell anything, but you flip the sign around and start taking inventory. Lots of cuckoo clocks. You work hard to make sure they all cuckoo at the same time, which is unsettling, but not as unsettling as them going off at random. Nothing happens until around 11, when the Rosemary Street antiquarian drops by in their Ford Fiesta stuffed full of exotic rugs. It's a bit surreal to see the antiquarian outside of their shop, long fingernails darting over an iPad as they check their inventory against the rugs and upholstery. Melody pulled out of a house once owned by a wealthy Benicki. Despite their robe and jade pipe, the antiquarian suddenly seems part of the real world and spends their time complaining about the Bruins as you unload inventory. You take off once you send them a digital receipt. They take off once you send a digital receipt. You actually get some customers as you organize the rugs. The first few just sniff around the shop. You try not to hover. You make your first sale, a beautiful oak wardrobe for a criminally low price. Just as you're considering a run to the Mexican-themed pizza place next door. You made money, cash too. So you get to operate the huge antique cash register. You make a few minor sales after the lunch rush, which doesn't make you rich, but does help Linda reduce Lucinda's inventory. Focus on making money. The goal here is to end up with more free time, not less. I want to do a final review for anything weird or occult so it doesn't get sold to regular humans. What's that avocado green mystery box? Let's see. I mean, we kind of want to have more free time for, like, training and stuff. But I do want to look in the spooky box, even though it does say no on the top of it. But I'm not very good at looking for, like, occult stuff. Let's focus on training for now. You'd like to empty this whole place out in a couple weeks. You keep an eye on the inventory to make sure you don't sell anything dangerous, of course, but Melody and Lucinda have already done a good job weeding out trouble. You only issue a recall on a single lacquered box, because there are Garu glyphs inside. Otherwise, your inventory is mostly just old furniture, bulky but well made, and you focus on moving as much of it out as possible. That means hanging back, since you're a werewolf and you creep people out, then cheerfully helping them load things into their own vehicles. Or getting in a dress so Lucinda can drop things off in her van the next day. You also email Lucinda about the avocado green box because you can't find it. Uh-oh! This job won't make you rich, but you track every sale, and after a few days you're owed a few $100s. Not bad. Basically, the only thing you can't move are these cuckoo clocks, but one rainy afternoon when it's obvious no one's coming in, and when you don't have any other pressing business, you link the security camera to your phone and head back into the office. Lucinda still hasn't answered your email. You work almost from sun up to sundown just to get everything organized. Lucinda has left notes all over, and the other clerk has added notes to the notes. Emendations, corrections, droll asides. Since you have the other clerk's number, you text her just to introduce yourself, and because you don't want her shooting you if you show up at a weird time. The sun has set, and you still can't find the green box. So after watching an elderly lesbian couple hover over a credenza for almost an hour before leaving without buying it, you just text Lucinda, "What happened to that box? I wanted to look through it." Before you get an answer, the glass door swings open. You have another customer. It's Mr. Gorski! This is the guy I think is a vampire, guys. This is the guy I think is a vampire. Hi, boss. I keep my mouth shut. I don't want my boss seeing anything werewolfy weird here. Good evening, Mr. Gorski. Can I get just you in a car to you? What? Stop it. Okay, so the prediction has ended. So how do I manage it? How do I pay it out? Wait. Thank you for helping me. Choose outcome. What one should I choose? I'm gonna you know what? Rats rule, Liz nerds suck. Let's fucking go. wait, go back. Can I choose 2? I can't choose 2. Rats rule, Liz nerds suck. Let's go. Okay, so did that. So 1,520 go to 3-Dick Guy and Billy. Excellent. As we all know, this is a rats rule, Liz nerds suck kind of channel. Good evening, Mr. Gorski. Can I interest you in a Cartier watch? Always be closing. What hat brings you to Palace Antiques? I don't want him causing trouble for my human allies. How's the hospital business? Because I'm generally curious about what the hell goes on at Gorski Manor. Let's ask him what brings him here. Oh, just seeing if there's anything here I recognize, Mr. Gorski says. He's abandoned casual wear in the favor of a garish sports coat over a plum-colored turtleneck. This man is a vampire. This man is a fucking vampire. I swear to God. He's abandoned casual wear in favor of a garish sport overcoat over a plum-colored turtleneck. Mr. Gorski browses for a few minutes, occasionally asking you questions about a piece. You're paid badly enough that you probably shouldn't take pride in your job, but you're pleased with how quickly and clearly you can explain the history of a Czech cuckoo clock or the provenance of a dresser owned by Kazimir Lubasik. Gorski buys a mid-century desk clock with the flippy numbers, a sketch by Canadian artist Emily Carr. Oh no, the chat spam's coming. I can't believe it. Mods! Twist their balls. Anyway. Ottawa and a gorgeous antique gramophone. This doesn't move anything big out of the room, but you just made Lucinda over $1,000. But you're pretty sure Mr. Gorski is working some kind of angle and that his real interest isn't the purchases. He stops you once you finish loading his purchases into his yellow Volvo. Thank you for your help, Mr. Gorski says. Tell me, Miss January, are you familiar with a man named Marian Lubasik? He asks. Marian Theodore Lubasik, deed name Chains the Lie, Silverfang Ragabash, died in 1981 according to his tombstone. Mr. Gorski's tone is casual, but his eyes bores into yours. This is what he's really here for. Despite winning, I think I lost. Never heard of him. Mr. Gorski might be an occultist. I can't have him scratching at the veil. I'm getting sick of this guy sniffing around my business. Who wants to know? Manipulation, intimidation? I might be able to convince Mr. Gorski that we can help each other. Tell me why you want to know about the Lubasiks, and maybe I can ask Lucinda. Charisma persuasion. No reason to press my luck here. I reveal as much as I dare. A member of the 3 families, wealthy occultist who ran parts of Northampton in the 20th century. Manipulation and intimidation, I think, is going to be a fun one. I have an okay manipulation and my intimidation's crazy. I just want to know... Gorski starts to say, about my boss? Why don't you ask her? Or is this about me? No, Gorski says. It's not about... Because if it's about me, we can't talk while I'm working. Let's just step outside and talk. No, that's quite alright, Miss January, Gorski says, backing up and bumping into a rocking horse. Maybe we can talk about this tomorrow at my other job, you say, as he retreats out the door. A moment later, you hear his Volvo start up. You check your phone. Still no response from Lucinda about the avocado box. What if the other clerk senses weakness and starts making more money on commission than me? I don't text her. I text the other clerk to see if she knows where the box is. Screw caution. Might as well socialize with humans. I text the other clerk. I'm not texting a human. I don't know about anything even tangentially werewolf related. Only the pack should know. The box can wait. The pack needs to know right away about Mr. Gorski. I can multitask. I text the other clerk about the box and the pack about Mr. Gorski. Let's do both, because... Hi, this is Celine at Lucinda's antique store. I'm looking for an avocado green box that Lucinda wants me to sort through. Then you hop over to the group chat, and it's like, Yellow Loris slow, nowhere to go. So that's what I was singing. Got a problem with my boss, Gorski. Then we're mostly asking about whether he's still alive because that's a concern we all share. Whenever we get to the group chat sections, there's always just the most insane shit going on in there. It's Laurie, not Loris. You cannot trick me, Elton. Lorises are slow. They're called slow Lorises. I love Nin so much. Really interested in an answer to the "did you kill him" question. I can't help you with employment problems, Celine. Of course I didn't kill him, Melody. I'm a professional, and professionals get paid. Wait, what's this? Or they beat you up while singing a fun little song. Bringing the whole pack might be dangerous, and you don't want all that rage crowded into Lucinda's back office. It might be time to text one of them individually and talk about what you know. Elton is the occult expert. Melody knows the most about old family business. Nin offers mobility, and there's so much running around in this job. Podge might be able to track down something online. I'm stuck between Elton and Melody because he is the occult, but also Melody will probably know the most about the Lubicics. Let's go with Elton because he's hot. You sent an email to Elton briefly, summarizing everything you know so far. BTU, I only had to hit him once. Isn't that nice? Also, did anyone move the box in Lucinda's shop? Wait, what are we talking about? The green one. I'm familiar with Gorski, but he just moved up the list. Does anyone want to hear more about the concert promoter I threw into a van? What is it? You hit him once or you threw him into a van? Suitcase next to the microfiche, Celine. Sorry, Nin, you're old news. Yeah, I'm going to check this out. I'm sending an email to Patrick. He might be able to do some research. Back to the other clerk response. Hi, Celine. I'm pretty sure it's next to the microfiche. Lucinda had to teach me what that is. It's the big beige machine you use to look at miniature slides. It's right where you said. Thank you. Don't sell too much, more than me. Not here to chat. I thanked her one last time and opened the case. So how did you end up working for Lucinda? I'm a little curious about who this other girl is. So are you on Instagram? It's psychotic. This is a cool place. All sorts of weird stuff. I'm fishing around to see if she's found anything Garu related. Let's ask more about her. I keep getting hired at antique stores. Like I'm not a historian or anything like that, but these places keep hiring me. You're thinking about trying to learn more. Maybe find out if she knows Gorski when. I gotta get to my other job. Don't work too late. Inside the suitcase is a rug you might be able to sell, old typewriter parts, and the avocado green box. Another hour of escape room bullshit turns up the box's key in the drawer of an old sideboard. Inside, you discover a handwritten notebook and day planner from 1978. There's also a coffee-stained index card to transfer to computer, photo records, Red Talon and Silent Strider artifacts, Biosphere Zero report, Chemochemicon report, that's also interesting, Ashfield security. You start sorting through the boxes within boxes. Did there used to be more tribes at Broadbrook? I examine the artifacts. I check out the photo records for anything of historical value. I think Podge has mentioned Chemicon as a problem. What do these reports show? I read the Ashfield security report. Anything about the pumpkin cult? That was ages ago. Did there used to be more tribes at Broadbrook? I could examine the artifacts. Let's have a look. As you examine the artifacts, you realize the situation is more serious than you had first anticipated. According to my research, the so-called Hand of King Philip is the preserved claw of a Mira Cyanix, Trumani, American cheetah. The first written reports of the hand date to the 1790s in Boston. I'm so good at getting numbers the correct way round. Over 100 years after King Philip's War, but Garu oral records mention the claw in connection to Metacomet as well as early Indian leaders. The Boston record claims that Metacomet, King Philip, was a cat shifter, but efforts by Boston bone gnawers to uncover the historical existence of cat shifters has proven elusive. Similarly, the claim that Metacomet was Garu seems specious due to Shadow Lord records we do have from the war, which never mention him in connection to shapeshifting. The Hand of King Philip, then, was probably never in the chief's possession, though it may have circulated among human Indians during the war. Whatever its origin, it is strongly linked to Griffin, the patron spirit of the Red Talon tribe, a spirit also called Cheetah or Red Cat among the remaining Indian Garu. A withered black paw tufted with fur, claws the colour of old blood. You feel its power and quickly put it back. And then, the vacuum key is associated with the silent striders. But even as I write these words, I find myself troubled by the realization that I don't know why I would say that. However, is it associated with them? Who associated them? When and what evidence did they present? What lazy thinking has allowed me to write such an unclear sentence? And yet this disconnection from fact and clarity haunts the vacuum key. Like the silent striders themselves, the vacuum key is part of who we are, yet fundamentally alien and disconnected from our perception. Exactly what someone is supposed to do with this non-object is not clear. Perhaps it requires a silent strider, and none have visited Broadbrook for several years. Until then, all we can do is keep it secure and hope that whatever it is, it does not spread. A scuffed plexiglass cloche, reinforced with stainless steel. Inside, nothing. In the shape of a key. It appears to be a key made of vacuum. You can only see it when you move the cloche, and the overhead light catches the air around the nothingness. The cloche contains a pressure gauge and a combination lock. Yellow paper found stuck to a Polaroid of a long-dead Garu gives the 4-digit code. An envelope contains yellow latex gloves, 4 key. According to another note, they've decayed beyond wearability, but you can find gloves if you need them. The old Broadbrook photos are interesting, but not particularly useful, and the various typewritten reports prove to have no immediately actionable material. You also find a horizontal rotary slide tray labelled evidence that's immediately interesting. You try downloading an app to your phone that's supposed to let you view the individual slides, but it doesn't work. The back office contains a slide projector, but you don't have time to figure out how to assemble it before Elton drops by. I've set my storm crows on Mr. Gorski, he says, and I also plan to investigate his past relationships. Lucinda, you ask? Moved her to an old safe house for the next 2 days, just as a precaution. I don't want to investigate Gorski Manor yet, but I want to hit some property formerly owned by the Lubasics, just to make sure nothing weird is happening there. Yeah, we can't be too careful with human occultists. The night patrols don't reveal anything unusual. You spend the time in Lupus form thinking about what's going on with Mr. Gorski and the late Mr. Lubasic. You make sure Elton understands your worries. He wants to check out that slide projector when both of you have some free time. Let's ask how the pattern line analysis is going and see, have we regained any... We have 2 more days of training! Big poggies! Okay, excellent. Let's check my shmoney situation first, chat. Ooh, $200? Okay, that's fine. Ooh, okay. Stalled for now. Cottage Cortex is such a good name. We downloaded tons of data, but they're in some kind of glyph code. Some are Garu, but not most. And Daphne isn't answering texts or emails. When Elton has more free time, I'll ask him if the signs match anything he knows from his stinky older books. Maybe Podge and Elton can figure it out on their own. Or you could check out the data and try to figure it out yourself. Now you need both occult education and considerable computer skill to understand the pattern line, which I don't have. Despite all my frogs, I am still just a lizard in a bog. Well, you suck. You're a Liz nerd. On this channel, we know that you suck. So we could do... Let's maybe go to Hob and get some combat training. Okay, Hobland says, stepping out of his bunker in a fully articulated suit of plate mail. Let's do this. Apparently Mr. Nash isn't taking any chances with your rage. With your sparring partner safe in his medieval armor, you devote yourself to every kind of close combat fighting, from fists and knives to swords and even polearms. It's amazing, Hobland explains, how many items you can find at a construction site that benefit from 16th century Swiss halberd training. You also practice fighting while hurt, something normal humans can't do. It's painful but educational to spar with an arrow through your leg or with your arm broken. Holy shit. Lizards are objectively superior to rats in every way. Well, Moggs has told me otherwise, and I don't know who to believe because I haven't seen hard proof. I don't think there's anything else we can do just yet. Let's... We'll do that last. 1. Lucinda is back home. Elton has been patrolling her home and her studio and has reported no threats. 2. You've worked a few more shifts at the antique store making the occasional sale. 3. Since you work at Gorski Manor, you've been looking for Mr. Gorski every shift, and he has ducked you every shift. It's getting infuriating. You might have to basically jump Gorski and corner him to get answers. you're not sure you want to escalate things that much. I do want to see. I do need to get rid of some rage at some point. Elton has managed to drag a little bit of information out of some of Gorski's contacts. He is specifically looking for a man named Emmett Lupasic, evidently a relative of Marion, chains the lie. Lupasic, and a distant relative of Lucinda, but Emmett Lupasic is a ghost. No birth or death records, though you uncover several Massachusetts businesses with his name on the board of directors, or in other positions of authority, or at least for easy profit. Dates range from 1935 to 1978, which is a lot of time. He doesn't have a lot of money, but he left so little footprints that you wonder if Emmett Lupasic is some kind of front or a scam. He must have had a lot of money, sorry. Rats don't look like dragons, lizards do, checkmate. Well, shit, that's crazy. But also, can a lizard drag a piece of pizza bigger than itself up a set of corrugated stairs in a New York subway? That's my question. 5. The slide projector was a whole stupid adventure. First, the circular slide holder. It's like the magazine of a Tommy gun. Snapped shut and you couldn't get it open without a risk that you'd break the slides. Then you had to order a replacement part for the projector, which got sent to the wrong Northampton, the one in England, and the sender wanted money anyway. After several similar aggravations, Elton just got in touch with an old friend from Germany who worked as a projectionist and who's some kind of projection nerd, and he's able to source the missing part an hour away in Hartford. So you drive Podge's truck there and back for a little piece of plastic the size of a domino. So you and Elton can check out that slide deck. Now, that might be easier than confronting than Mr. Gorski. Okay. I do want to go to the Barrows really quick, because if Chains the Lie... I can't remember. It wasn't... No, Chains the Lie wasn't here. Maybe it was the Deep Woods? No. Let's... I abandoned my awareness training. I don't know what that means. So we're just gonna... Whoop. Anything? Nope. Right. Let's do a serious investigation chat. Are you sure? These investigations will involve your entire pack and may take you away from your daily routine for a considerable time. Okay. I'm ready. Let's go. We got nothing else to fucking do. Bearing witness to Eater of Names' return was horrific, but you weren't totally surprised. Werewolves are hard to kill. Whatever happened to Eater of Names at the Battle of Graves Farm, he did not die all the way. With his physical body too damaged to survive in the physical world, he managed to flee into the Umbra. From there, he somehow infected Scarpa and used Scarpa's body to bring himself back to the physical world. You're almost certain that his resurrection, if you want to call it that, is tied up with Broadbrook's corrupted can. With the pattern line that you first noticed at Everlight, and with those femorae you faced at Esther's restaurant. But how? Does Eater of Names connect back to the rancid flesh that killed Clay when the older werewolf ate it? Could that have been the mechanism by which Eater of Names returned to the physical world? After several meetings with the other Garus scheduled around your increased workload at Gorski Manor, and constantly thwarted attempts to go out with Elton on a nice date instead of just crashing at his house after spending a night inventorying various tomes. We want a bang, goddammit! You see 3 clear avenues of investigation. First, you and Podge can look into exactly what the pattern line transmitted. Second, you and Nin can try to trace Scarpa's last days until Eater of Names destroyed him. Finally, you and Elton can try to figure out how Neo-Albion connects to the cult of Fenris and Eater of Names. There is, of course, a 4th point of interest, but Daphne Clear has refused to communicate with any of you, except for one terse and ambiguous email. I will be consulting with certain machine spirits containing the ramifications of what we witnessed at Esther's bar. She has not returned emails or texts, and Podge reports that she has not left GRC Media for several days, and that both Watcher Spirits and Physical Security now guard the reinforced building. Elton thinks that she might open up if you bring her more information. Podge has been more worried about politics in the Valley. Shortly after the events at Esther's restaurant, the mayor of Northampton abruptly resigned, leaving municipal politics to a provisional expanded council. Rumours indicate that multiple city officials' involvement with the big calc fiasco. You hope that it's only justice catching up to some crooked politicians, and not a sign that Eater of Names is already active. Okay. I'm thinking Nin first. If we can track sort of what happened to Scarpa and what, like, the origins of this thing, because it first happened when Clay ate a gross, like, Bane meat. Okay, I'm just gonna crunch on a fucking croissant for a minute, because I'm considering. Let's go with Nin. You wait for a dame. When she isn't playing, you're gonna go make coffee and leave with the sheep. Thank you. So gracious. I also may take just a very brief break for a minute. I'll put on like an ad for a minute or two. So nobody's missing anything. I will put us on the BRB. And I am gonna quickly refill my drink. Maybe get some coffee and eat the rest of this croissant so you're not like hearing me scran very loudly. Ads have no power here. It's very true. If you're a subscriber, you don't have to suffer through the ads, but it's good for me to put them on because we might actually have, with that gift sub bomb, we might actually be over and I can maybe look into getting a new cool model. But anyway, I will be back. I shall return. I'm just going to put on an ad for a couple minutes and I'll see you guys in a minute. chat. I am back. I am back with a hearty cup of Gamer Sups. Here we go. Which probably means I'm gonna have to piss later, but that's fine. Okay. One more crunch of croissant. Okay. I'm fueled by pastry. By pastry and anime girl titties. Right. You wait for a day when she isn't playing any shows and you're not working, then text Nin at breakfast. It's today. Meet me at Langton. Podge, sitting across from you eating his store-brand frosted flakes, says, I'll hold down the fort today. I'm really hoping for a break for you in the analysis of those symbols we pulled off the pattern line. Let me know if anything comes up, you tell him as your phone boops. I'll tell the others where we be? Oh no. Big sneeze! What the heck? I just dusted! Anything from Daphne? You ask Podge. He checks his phone again, shakes his head. I'll let you know. Bundle up out there. I don't want you girls to catching a chill. Chapter 7, One for the Mouse. If harm ever happens to me, that water on the top of the well will be blood, and the water below will be honey. William Butler Yeats, The Celtic Twilight, Fairy and Folklore. Despite the bitter cold, the lack of snow means you can bike to Langton Shelter. You pedal as hard as you can, trying to warm up and trying to ignore the stink of trash in the streets. Whenever you blink, you see heaps of hot trash on the sidewalk and feel flies hitting your cheek. An illusion, you tell yourself. The air is clean and cold. The world smells like a dead possum. Langton Shelter is a low cement building, grey-white and cold like the grey-white parking lot and the grey-white sky. The sky yearns to snow but cannot, so there is only the blinding whiteness, the bitter cold. Even the cars are colourless, coated in pale grime. Only the graffiti on the walls stand out. When you enter, an old man screams at you to close the door, but it's mostly empty inside. Since Langton doesn't offer breakfast, about a third of the interior is full of garbage, stuff rejected by local thrift stores and left to pile up in trash bags, or spread out on the stained carpet. Nin moves among the junk. She obviously forgot to pack clothes again and just shifted back to her Homid form. The Galliard is wearing red Wellingtons and a huge shiny puffer jacket like a Y2K era rapper, and she's digging through rubbish for winter gloves. Have you asked anything about Scarpa? Find anything good? I dig around in the clothing heap. Are you ready for some serious cold? We'll be following Scarpa's route west into the woods. Let's be careful here. The people here have been badly mistreated. We'll approach them with kindness but also caution. Find anything good? Nin nods with excitement and holds up a child's xylophone, all bright primary colours except where it's stained brown. You dig through bags for anything in your size as the Galliard plays a tune so creepy you expect Victorian orphan ghosts to materialise. When she starts to sing, the same old man who shouted to Crow's the door tells her to shut up. There's nothing good in these bags, and that's not what you're here for. You stop digging and get Nin to put her toy back. You examine the sparse crowd of cold-eyed men and desperate women. You recognise a few people from around town. When the Valley's shadow lords fell, the petty criminals they used for camouflage and convenience mostly scattered, as Elton didn't want to be on that Jabba the Hutt shit, as he once confided in you. You don't have time to run a full criminal enterprise, but you recognise several people here. They're mostly victims, not serious criminals. Nonetheless, talking with anyone here will require caution and cunning to avoid putting yourself in danger, or more accurately, putting yourself in a situation where rage takes over. You and Nin are probably nice by werewolf standards, but if seriously threatened, Nin will kill someone, and you know your own spiritual limits. Of course, you could also throw caution to the wind and corner someone when they're alone and make demands, ugly but potentially effective. If you don't want to risk a dangerous interaction, you could follow someone once they leave. That could take hours, but might yield you useful information. And what about those graffiti tags outside? Might they tell you something useful? What rage are we at? We're kind of mad, we're kind of grumpy right now. My wits and my strength and sweet rise are good. I keep my wits about me and ask the homeless folk about Scarpa. I wait until one of them is alone and lean on them for answers. We'll take our time, patiently monitoring the crowds as they disperse, and use Owl to see where they go. I call on Owl, then use my knowledge of tags and look for Scarpa's work among the graffiti. So that would be int streetwise or res streetwise. We could be patient about it. I'm thinking this. Stuck between res or wit streetwise. I think we're just going to be direct. Nin hasn't been idle. She tells you the names and wretched histories of some of the people who still linger on their cots, but people regard you with bitter hostility, like you just flashed a badge. Though Nin just waits quietly behind you, they treat her with the barely concealed panic of people with mental health problems, watching a really crazy person act out. Iced out of several conversations with Langton's guests, you instead try the man who appears to be its only employee. He tries to ignore you from behind his locked grille, and probably not bulletproof glass, but he reacts with alarm when you mention Scarpa. He's gone, the functionary says. Died. Him and his dog. You're considering whether to feign sympathy when you hear a ragged scream from the bathroom. Where the hell is Nin? Fuck, the functionary snaps, hitting a button under his desk. He doesn't leave to investigate, so you follow the second scream into the filthy bathroom when Nin is bashing a man's head into a broken mirror. Tell me! The Garrelian screams as the man squeals and begs. Terry, his name is... Oh, fuck, please! Nin, who is not a large woman, and who hasn't even assumed her glamorous form, makes the man scream again. You can't quite see what she's doing to him. Where, she says, her voice flat. Gorski Manor, he's dying, girl, he's dying. You and Nin slip out the back, shuddering as the cold slices through every one of your layers. Nin winces and checks her bruised knuckles, then says, he started it, by way of explanation. You climb onto the old train tracks and watch as a police FUV pulls into Langton parking lot. Then Nin says, I've always wanted to see where you work. I love her so much. You sure you've seen the name Terry Klein before on your daily rounds? Nin hops on the back of your bike, her usual enthusiasm for going fast dampened by the cold air. As you head for Gorski Manor, Nin hesitates at the threshold. Only the cold air compels her into the mildewy darkness of the decaying retirement home. You instinctively check the pipes to make sure they haven't frozen, then swing around the abandoned front desk, check the computer records. Klein, Terry, room 206. I remember Terry, Nin says. He lived in your cabin before you. Dealt and hustled at shows. Roscoe hated him. I don't like this place. She watches brown water drip from an exposed ceiling pipe onto a dusty janitorial cart. I try to do what I can for these people, but it's hopeless. No doctors, no money. They're just junkies and mean old assholes. Don't feel too bad for them. I've always thought there's something especially wrong with this place, but I can never find what it is. Let's talk to Terry Klein and get out. Being here pisses me off. I think this one. Nin says nothing to respond, only heads for the stairs while humming an old Joan Baez song. She starts to go right, but you wave her back. That's the dementia wing. 210 to 231. And there's actual security there. You don't want Nin meeting... Who's on duty now? Fran? They won't get along. You head directly for 206 and find the door slightly ajar. Damn it, you fixed that just last week. You push it open, ready for anything. A prematurely aged man lies handcuffed to a filthy gurney, blue-black stains under his nose and mouth from oxygen tubing. Though the supply next to the bed appears empty. The cold room smells like excrement. The window behind Terry is small and high, letting a slice of dingy white light onto the spotted tiles. You start to enter, but Owl draws your attention to a mini security camera aimed at the bed. That's definitely new. Nin notices it too. She frog walks into the room and plucks it off the wall. With the camera turned off, you consider the apparently unconscious man on the bed. I check him for identifying marks. Is he one of the three families or otherwise the map? This is bad even for Gorski Manor. I think the nurses have been ordered not to help him. Excuse me, Mr. Klein, I'd rather not treat him like an object. Is there any personnel here I don't recognize? What about the window? Anyone out there? Yeah, this is pretty bad. Should I find a nurse? Nin asks. Not yet, you say. You've been drafted as an orderly on a number of occasions, and you check the old-fashioned paper clipboard to see who's been cleaning this room. There is a clipboard, but the cleaning records are blank. No medical notes either. Ah! Sorry, I'm so sniffly right now. For no apparent reason. Cleaning records are blank. No medical notes either. You examine the oxygen equipment, which you've wheeled from room to room on many occasions. Only when you confirm that this is Gorski Manor equipment do you remove your bulky gloves and inspect Mr. Klein himself. Your hands are finally warmed up, and that's when you realise that it's skinning cold. This man is dead. Nin's rendition of Where Have All the Flowers Gone abruptly stops. Where did she go? You find the Galliard in room 212, which is empty except for a rolling desk with a laptop. Nin is watching security footage from the camera in room 206. Someone is there, in Mr. Klein's room. I saw her. She reaches for the laptop again, then remembers that she's even worse at computers than you are. You examine the screen. The camera watched for a total of 36 hours, but there's only 2 hours of footage. Apparently the camera only turns on when there's movement. Nin edges around you and activates the first recording. 11:45 the previous night. Green fuzz of night vision. Mr. Klein's room in darkness. You recognize the woman as she steps into frame, wrapped in a tattered dress and a long cigarette-burned coat, fingers glinting with silver rings. It's Giselle, the witch. Uh-oh. Oh, no. She's one of the cult of Fenris. The 2 hours of footage contain about 10 interesting minutes. What you see is both illuminating and frustrating. Something is wrong with the camera's microphone, though it's supposed to record audio. You get only static. You can't even try reading lips, since everyone who enters the room faces away from you, and is almost always between the camera and Mr. Klein's face. 3 people visited the night before last. Giselle arrives at 11:45. She appears to make demands of Mr. Klein, which he ignores or refuses. She's the one who handcuffed Mr. Klein to the gurney. She leaves after 5 minutes, and you get a single chance to see her lips as she talks, Scarpa, and something else. Mr. Klein beckons for her again, but she doesn't come back. At 2:30 a.m., Nomi Pascalis enters and turns on the light. They hurry to supply the dying man with oxygen as he gestures frantically. Once they've followed his instructions, they try to get the cuffs off but can't. Mr. Klein eventually tells Nomi not to bother. Then the two talk for almost 20 unintelligible minutes. Nomi nods and takes notes. You roll the footage back and forth, zoom in, but you're only able to see a few words in their notebook. 2 of them are black tarn. Oh shit! Nomi must be asking about Scarpa. The journalist's body language is unreadable, especially in their oversized windbreaker. Suspicion? Professional sympathy? Anger? You think you see them all at different times. Then Nomi shakes the man's free hand, switches off the light, and departs. Finally, Mr. Gaultier's older son, Drax, enters at 5:15 a.m. yesterday. He turns on the light, but like Nomi, doesn't notice the camera. His tone is pleading, then furious, then frantic. The few glances you get of the dying man's face show pride, condescension in equal measure. Finally, Drax punches him in the face and grabs his pillow and smothers him. Nin yells as if she can intervene and save the man. He dies in about a minute, barely struggling. Then Drax tucks the pillow under his head and leaves. Nin grabs the laptop. Carrying around the evidence of a murder is going to complicate our lives. I'm thinking we now have enough ledgers on Drax. He can tell us more about what he knows. Cool, we can download the video and sell the laptop for a couple $100. Let's do this. Do you know where he lives? Nin asks. I can find out, you say. She strains, concentrating on an abstract concept that isn't music, and then says, make a copy, and hands you a thumb drive. A bang outside. Sorry. You poke your head into the corridor, but it's only Charlie the orderly heading to the Alzheimer wing. Nonetheless, Nin stands guard while you insert the thumb drive and copy the video data onto it. Nin's thumb drive mostly contains videos of St. Homunculus shows, but there's enough room for the security footage. You review the footage again as the file copies to the thumb drive, looking for anything except the 3 conversations. You stop and roll back when you hear a voice, something other than the static. Celine, do you hear me? The hell? You roll back further and watch people move in reverse through the room. You didn't see these people before. You stop at 4:43 and hit play. A woman ignores Mr. Klein on the bed and turns to you. Not bothering to turn on the light, you recognize her blue dress, even in the grainy monochrome of the camera's night vision. Why was Catherine Day staring up at the security camera in your pocket last night? She's been dead for 4 years. What the fuck? Celine, I don't have a lot of time, Catherine says, staring up at you with the luminous green eyes of someone on a night vision camera. You need to listen to me. I listened to the ancestors at the barrow according to the rites. This is not in the rules. I'm suspicious. Whatever you are, if you've got information, I'll listen. I stay silent mostly because I don't want Nin to catch me talking to a recording and looking crazy. You're not Catherine. How stupid do you think the Gario are? Whatever you are, yeah. Wow, I hadn't said you'd be mean, Catherine says. What do you even think you're doing in there? The grayscale image is dynamic, and the way Catherine's shade back at the cemetery is not. In a way, only the oil painting above Elton's fireplace manages. You feel icy sweat trickling down the back like an old wound. Listen, Celine, there's something I want you to do. The Theurge says, her voice is calm like she's trying to get you to not jump off a bridge. Can you look out the window? Impelled by curiosity, you peek through the blinds to look out the storeroom's small window. Or at least you try. There's nothing out there. A whiteout. You put your gobs back on, reach under the blinds to try to wipe the window without effect. The place you're in, Celine, it isn't real. You've been... Is she still in there? Another voice asks. Hold on, I'm talking to her. The dirty hospital room on the screen now contains Catherine, a bearded man you recognize as David Benicki, not looking at all like this, a swollen fomor with leathery skin, and an old but strongly built white man with close-cropped hair and a vaguely military bearing. You're not sure how, but you've seen him before, but only in Kreena's Storm. That's Eater of Names. Oh, fuck. Okay, no games. Tell me what you are and what's happening. Your friends are monsters, Catherine. I try not to snarl. Are you from the past? Because I don't believe in werewolf time machines. Where's Nin? I need to make sure she's not in danger. Your friends are monsters, Catherine. We're all monsters, Celine, Catherine says, with the light and witty tone of a salon hostess. Then her voice darkens. But we are monsters who see the world as it truly is. I'm sure you've had your doubts, surrounded by blind humans marching to the deaths and to the death of Gaia. You wonder if maybe you're the mad one, not them, as you see a fire on the horizon that you can never see. You cough. The smell of the dead man has followed you into the room. Loose bowels and cold blood. We discern the truth or we die, Catherine says. Look around. What do you see? Look at the door. There is, you realise, no door. Not much time left, David Benicki mutters. You started near Buffalo, New York, and travelled all the way across New York State, Catherine says, speaking quickly as her voice crackles and the screen flickers. Then you ranged around the valley on both sides of the Kinetic River. For the last few months, you've confined yourself to short excursions. In the last month, you haven't left Northampton. And now, look out the window, Celine. You try. There doesn't seem to be anything out there. The door is still missing. It's breathing out. It might get a little bigger for a few minutes, but... What? What's breathing out? You're in the answering tiger, Celine. You've been eaten. You've been in there for a long time. What the fuck is happening? Stripes of shadow crawl across the blank walls as a dim, colourless light shines through the Venetian blinds. The window itself is gone, leaving the blinds floating against the wall, and the laptop screen appears to hover in emptiness. Is the laptop screen glowing? Yes, its dimensions now resemble the portrait over Aunt's fireplace. Catherine's dress and eyes are blue, and her hand is pale as she reaches through the film between realities. Celine, you need to get out of the prison the answering tiger has trapped you in. Give me your hand. We need to go. Now. You feel the presence of a powerful spirit, a terrible oppressive weight that threatens to crush your thoughts, to replace them with a vast and terrible alien will. It's the answering tiger, you're sure of it, but where is it? Furious, I smash the screen, hoping to wound the answering tiger. Our weapon is rage. I owe it to Elton to learn what is real in this hall of phantoms. I close my eyes and touch Catherine's hand. I need to know whatever the answer is. I reach through the screen. We can still win. I'm not touching whatever that thing is. I stay away from the hand and the screen. I just want to survive. Working with alien spirits, which these things probably are, is against the litany and a bad idea in general. I ordered the spirit to leave or else. If there's any chance this is really Catherine, I need to ignore the letter of the litany and try to reach her. Oh, we've got... So these are our convictions right now. So right now, our weapon is raised, our answer is spirit. We can still win. I need to know. I gotta know, dude. I gotta know. Just like ads have no power here. I'm very dumb. How else will you know what's real? Ignoring your fear, you reach for the pale hand. You hesitate again when you see its claws. And when the hand grabs you and drags you forward, you see its claws as they bite into your soul, not your flesh. Cold, grey pain numbs your senses as the shimmering hand tries to drag you through the rift, but you dig your heels into the colourless, featureless thaw. You hold on with all your physical and spiritual strength, but inch by inch the clawed hand drags you forward, and then a roar, and a heavy weight blasts you backward into the wall, which shatters like glass as you tumble through and fall down, down. Hard, cold linoleum. Hot, wet air. You know that smell. You open one eye to see the storage room, almost entirely occupied by Nin in her monstrous hippo form. Her breath steams in the cold air. The blinds hang in tatters and nothing remains of the laptop and thumb drive except shredded trunks of plastic. You feel terribly drained, but it's a spiritual wake, not a physical one. When you rise, Nin shifts back to her helmet form, recovers her puffy coat, and starts wandering the hall looking for her clothes. What the fuck? You and Nim spend 50 minutes patrolling Golsky Manor's empty halls, making sure that the intruder spirit has gone. Nin climbs up into an empty bed and refuses to touch the cold linoleum until you track down some abandoned clothing in another deserted room. Once she has boots and clothes again, the two of you patrolled the upstairs for more evidence of the spirit or ghost or whatever it was, but the intruder is gone. Though nothing remains of the computer equipment, you saw 3 people, real people, on that recording. The witch Giselle, the journalist Nomi, and Drax, who smothered Mr. Klein. You're almost certain that all 3 know more about Scarpa's last days than you do. You consider which person to contact. Giselle is dangerous, clever, and cruel. She'll probably agree to help you, but you'd have to watch her like a hawk and know something about the occult to stay safe around her. There will be only one way to approach Drax, you know. Threatening him with exposure. That's risky, even with Nin backing you up. But you might be able to squeeze him for information now, then force him into service later. And what about Nomi? They're not physically or supernaturally dangerous, but that damn blog of theirs, Cahoots, keeps inching closer to the truth. It would be easier to track them down, but harder to lie to them if they want to tack along. I mean, Nomi has already seen us, like, fucking, do a whole ass raid to save their life. So it might be a good time to bring them in. Com subterfuge, witch investigation. That's our investigation now. I think it's pretty good. Yeah, it's alright. Because I trust them more than the others. We need Nomi's help, you tell Nim as you search your phone contacts, but we still shouldn't let them know too much. I have heard the litany, Celine, Nin says, rolling her eyes. Her understanding of irony has been improving later. It's been difficult for everyone. You call Nomi. Oh my god, Celine, it's been ages, Nomi says. I keep getting confused between Nin and Nomi. And you remembered that I want to escape my generation's burdensome obsession with asynchronous communication. How thoughtful. They cut out for a second and you head towards a window and say, I'm looking to follow the trail of a man who died at Esper's restaurant named Scarpa. Why? Damn journalists. But you're not going to mislead Nomi unless you have to. He was my friend, you tell Nomi, how you investigated led you to Terry's deathbed. And since you're being honest, and since it doesn't directly lift the veil, his murder by Drax. Sweet Dijon! We gotta meet, but where? You should come over here. Maybe you can uncover something else. Somewhere private. This interaction might strain the veil, but I don't want to tear it by chattering in public. Yeah, let's do it in private. A friend of mine works at Big Lots, and she says most of the cameras don't work. Let's go there. Nomi says, sorry, I'm eating more croissant. I know I said I wouldn't, but I am. It's a 20-minute walk through the cold. Nomi is waiting for you in the outdoor patio section. Rattan is in again, the journalist says, troubling. So what about these cameras, you ask then? All fake, but more importantly, I have good news. Your friend Scarpa stayed at Langton Shelter, but before that he lived with one Terry Klein, recently deceased. I have their address. It's like 10 minutes from here. Good work, and I mean it. Are you sure you want to come along? This might get dangerous. We'll ask if they're sure. Of course I want to come, Nomi cries. With your help, Celine, I can blow this whole thing wide open. You'll be the newspaper wedged under the door, so Nin's ball-peen hammer can help us retrieve the key wedged in the lock of deception. What? Nin says. Nomi interrogates you ferociously. All the way to the apartment complex where Terry and Scarpa lived. You're willing to exchange information with the journalist if they can help you. You share all sorts of interesting things about Scarpa that have nothing to do with werewolves, the New York pipeline fight, running drugs over the Canadian border, other misadventures. Nomi memorizes everything. You worry when they try to interrogate Nin, but Nomi seems to instinctively fear the Galliard and Nin remains silent anyway. You follow Nomi on your bike to a cluster of rundown brick apartments, surrounded by equally rundown cars. The journalist takes the icy, slippery wooden steps two at a time to a battered door. Here we go, they say, picking their way around rusty grilling equipment. Nomi moves cautiously. They could trip and get tetanus and die. You wonder if smart hunters can spot werewolves by the way you walk when there's jagged garbage all over. Though you and Nin are always alert to your environment, you haven't cared about little scratches or torn hems for years. Could someone track you by the way you walk over broken bottles? You're overthinking things. Don't worry, Nomi says. I've got this. They pull out a lockpick gun and try to stick it in the doorknob lock. It clangs like a dinner bell, bounces off the brass knob, and clatters along the door, leaving divots in the wood. Oh no! Oh fuck! Nomi shouts. They try to turn the lockpick gun off but can't figure out how. Finally, in desperation, they fling it into the bushes. You can still hear it faintly clattering as you pull out your lockpicks and open the door in 5 seconds. You step into the bleak little efficiency. Clay's old army jacket is on the ground right in front of you. You pick up the desert camo army jacket, which is so badly torn now that it's beyond use. The jacket holds cards for David Binnicki's gun shop and Jasper Heaney's leatherworks. That's some impressive investigative work from Scarpa. You hand them to Nomi. This guy died, Nomi says, holding up the Heaney card. He made, like, fursuits or something? He got knifed in Hadley. No follow-up from the local police. I wonder if he was killed for joining a sex cult. Probably, Nin says. This is the power trio of our character, Nin, and Nomi, because it's just chaos all around. It's incredible. I love it. The room is desolate, with only some cheap clothes covering even cheaper furniture. Food in the kitchenette is approaching its expiration date. Nin kneels down and runs her fingers over the synthetic carpet. She holds wolf hairs up to the afternoon light filtering through the dirty windows. They have a dog? Nomi asks. Nomi isn't stupid. They'll notice the lack of dog food. Let's look around, you say. The three of you meticulously search the efficiency, uncovering irrelevant detritus from Terry and Scarpa, a broken flip phone, expired coupons, plastic takeout containers. The clothes contain nothing of material or investigative value, but you spot Nomi staring at a pair of boots that must have belonged to Terry, since they're too small for Scarpa. Oh, cool. The journalist says, snapping pictures with their phone. They look like, I don't know, Coptic? You examine the boots. They don't know what Coptic looks like. You don't know what Coptic looks like, but the little crossbar and hook bend the heel. Don't look explicitly Garu. You don't recognize them, but then again, you're no scholar. Sorry. My hair is sitting weirdly underneath my headphones. There we go. That's comfy. I was like pulling at it. You continue your search while Nomi ransacks the kitchenette cabinets and Nin eats a can of tuna fish. There's nothing under the couch, but when you get Nin's help to move it, you find a faded brochure stuck to the carpet. It's Keep On Truckin'. Font and faded exterior mark it out among the glossy new religious tracts, and coupon books scattered across the living room table. Its cover reads Pine Island Retreat, some sort of religious revival center west of here, abandoned for decades. Nin snarls. You lead Nin toward the front door so she can calm down as Nomi rummages around under the sink. That's it, Nin whispers, staring at the brochure. That's where Scarpa was. You're sure, you ask? The location is between Northampton and northern New York, and it seems like the sort of abandoned but still intact place where a werewolf might hide. I know, Nin says, her expression haunted. I was there after the Battle of Graves Farm. They took me there. Can I lean on Nin to tell me no? I don't want to antagonize Nin. Drop the subject of the battle. I don't want Nin paying much attention. I don't ask Nin more about the battle. I need to know more, Nin. Probably, but it'll upset the Galliard a little to dredge up those old memories, and you're worried Nomi might overhear. Yeah, I don't want Nin to be sad. What's that? Nomi asks. You hand the brochure to the journalist and keep your eyes on Nin so she doesn't keep talking. Oh, this is worth checking out, Nomi says. Let's get out of here before we're noticed. The brochure is a solid lead. Is there anything else here on Pine Island or other places west of Northampton? So was Pine Island a Kool-Aid cult or something back in the disco days? We could get there before sunset, but Nomi, are you sure you want to go? It could be dangerous. I whispered to Nin, are you going to be okay going back? Of course, Nin snaps ferociously, enough to startle Nomi. So, I'm not getting any online records, nothing about Pine Island Retreat, except one single mention in 1976. We're going to have to hike out there. You rummage around one last time and don't turn up anything else. Nomi is stamping their feet. Follow me down the hill, the journalist says. We'll do more research where it's warmer. The cold is definitely creeping into this apartment, but you're not turning up anything else, so you bike to the pharmacy at the bottom of the hill and look up Pine Island on your phone as you warm up in the aisles. Is anyone getting anything? Nomi asks. Nothing online, you said. Your searches for Pine Island Retreat go nowhere. I found one article from 1976, but it's just a mention. We're going to have to hike out there. Lots of buildings, Nin says. The maps show at least a dozen cabins around Pine Island Lake, and there might be more out in the woods. You don't want to stumble around the cold woods at night, especially with Nomi in tow. Well, there's nothing online, and I'm busy all this week. I vote we go now. They're adamant, and you suspect that if you refuse, they'll just go anyway. It looks like you're finishing this tonight, one way or another. Dun dun dun! Did I? Oh shit, I left my oven on. Wait. I turned my oven on because I was like, maybe I'll make some chicken nuggies, and then I remembered I had pastries. 1 second. I'll be right back. Okay, okay. I put some chicken nuggets in the oven just because there's not that many of them left, and I can have them as a snack later. I don't know why. I prefer cold chicken nuggets because I'm a freak. The first obstacle is procuring a ride, since none of you can drive. You try calling Hobland, then Roscoe, then Lucinda without success. Finally, Lynn gets through to Trevor, the St. Homunculus frontman. I did. I put the timer on. It's all good. It's all good. I'm like the true ADHD fucking stereotype of, did I leave the oven on? And the answer is usually yes. Because I'm a silly sausage. The first obstacle is procuring a ride, since none of you can drive. You try calling Hobland, then Roscoe, then Lucinda without success. Finally, Nin gets through to Trevor, the St. Homunculus frontman, who's willing to drive out to a weird lake on short notice. Then this means another regular person tagging along. Trevor lacks Nomi's relentless curiosity, all the way to the lake okay. Once again, the speech impediment is coming back. It's coming back out, yeah. Let me just take a sip. And reset myself. It's because I haven't been doing vocal warm-ups. I'm a fool. Trevor lacks Nomi's relentless curiosity. All the way to the lake in Trevor's cube, Nomi conducts an impromptu interview with Trevor, who cheerfully describes every swindle and indignity he's experienced as a touring musician. Nomi writes it all down. Trevor completes almost a full circle of the lake, his cube crunching along unpaved roads and past cabins locked tight for the off-season, before Nin presses her face to the cold glass, staring out at black trees and a red sky. Here, Nin, she whispers to you. They held me here. There. Oh, park here, you tell Trevor. You should stay with the car and keep the heat on. Jam straight, I should, Trevor says. What are you three doing out here? It's a cold night for mushrooms, you know. We're investigating Gorski Manor, Nomi says. Oh, dude, that place is fucked up, Trevor says. I heard... You tune out Trevor's story about 2 patients attacking each other over the last bed, which you experienced firsthand and helped Nomi organize their recording gear. You hurry after Nin while Nomi takes out their phone to make sure they have bars. Nin hesitates between one step and the next. I know it's hard, Nin, but let's go. We need to follow Scarpa's trail. Do you want to stay here with Trevor while I check it out? I'm worried about the 2 regular humans getting hurt. They might get hurt, so let's be ready to get them out. Actually, why don't you distract the journalists so they don't take too many pictures while I look for serious threats? It seems like Nin is getting upset when we're just like, it's like, you know, underestimating her. So let's frame it as like, I'm worried about the 2 like regular humans and stuff. Get her thinking about like protecting another person instead. Nin nods and waits for Nomi to catch up. You don't smell anything waiting in ambush, but you try to keep Trevor's cube in sight as you head up the slope behind Nin. The galliard finishes her climb and then huffs in frustration, not fear. You hurry to join her and see only blackened stumps where Nin's prison once stood. This is it, you ask? Nin grumbles in affirmative. Look for, I don't know, trapdoors, stairs down, anywhere we could go, you say, stepping back to check on Nomi and Trevor. But as the journalists arrive, Nin says, nothing. Nomi joins the galliard and snaps a few pictures. Look at how the grass has grown in, they say, running her gloved hand over the dead grass. This happened at least a couple years ago. No one was staying here this autumn. Other cabins, all dark and uninhabited, are all visible, all around the lake and up in the hills. Nin stamps her feet with cold and growing irritation. We need to prioritize tracing Scarpa. Everyone split up will search the woods before the temperature drops too low. I stick with Nin to keep her calm. Nomi head back to Trevor. We'll be back before full dark. I don't want regular people sniffing around. Nomi go back to Trevor. Nim and I will circle the lake in opposite directions. I stick with Nin to keep her calm. Head back to... No, Nomi cries. Let's circle around in opposite directions. I'll go get Trevor and we'll go left and you go right and we'll meet up. They head back toward the cube before you can stop them. Your woodland survival skills will be necessary to help you find anything interesting in these woods, but you see a few ways to minimize the amount of wandering you'll have to do. Spirit owls flit around the branches, yours and Nin's. Owl's keen vision will help any approach except bull-headed endurance. I trust my instincts to guide me to where Scarpa would have gone. Anyone else would instinctively ignore the windiest areas, but I rely on my physical endurance to tough it out, and I explore everywhere. We need to be patient and symptomatic. I check every pine needle, then I check it again, looking for signs of Scarpa's passage. I prep using the brochure and online map. I want to know where all the buildings are. Can I shift into my direwolf form to enjoy the cold better? If it's just me and Nin, that's probably a good... it's probably a good one. You can't risk it. Knowing your luck, Nomi will find Scarpa's cabin before you do, and snap a picture as you change back. I check every pine needle, then check it again. We're pretty good on rage. Let's do resolve and survival. You didn't understand how much of this country is wilderness until after your first change. Scarpa taught you that the sheer area that humans never enter helps keep Zaru safe. Even in New England, you can walk away from a road and hit hundreds of square miles of trees, ravines, and almost nothing else. But that works against you too. There's no quick and clever way to find Scarpa's path. You just have to pay attention and look for anything that might imply a werewolf's passing. Hair, spore, markings, anything. The rising mist doesn't help. It's actually your sense of touch that provides you with your first clue. As you claw along a slope, your gloved hand touches a deep furrow in the shape of a clawed print. Could be a dog, but you doubt it. Following that impression, you find a birch tree with some of its bark scraped off at lupus level. That turns into a dead end, but you double back, recross the paw print, and trace it on in the other direction to a frozen brook, where you find what's left of a sock. Scarpa always forgot to take off his socks before changing. You keep moving, and less than a minute later you notice a little cabin high up on the slope, shielded from view from every direction, except for where you're standing. Is that on the satellite map, you ask Nin? Nin pulls out her phone, and you have to wait while as she processes the cartographic data. Finally, yes, it's visible, but there's no outline of it on the map. Avoiding a patch of river that flows fast enough that the ice is dangerously thin, you scramble up the slope toward the small cabin, luminous in the pale mist beneath the light of the gibbous moon. The bitter wind doesn't seem to touch the mist, even as it slices through your poncho and rattles the dry tree limbs overhead. You don't see Nomi. You might have time to explore the cabin before they find you. Despite the cold, you're still holding up well, which means you'll be able to pay attention when you check the unlocked door, so you easily notice the trap. It looks like the easiest way out is through, so you open the unlocked door and step to the side. A bayonet swings down from above the door, aimed at heart level. It hits empty air. You examine the mechanism. Interesting. This isn't one of Scarpa's designs. The bayonet is rusty, marine issue, and OKC. Something you forgot. You forget, like that car bar knife that horseman had on your very first hunt back in New York. In all likelihood, someone connected to Eater of Name / Neo Albion Alliance built this trap years ago, and Scarpa just refurbished it. The interior of the cabin shows signs of a hasty departure, including scattered clothing and open drawers. The clothes, the lingering smell, and the general style of clutter tell you Scarpa was here. Half-assembled traps indicate that he planned to make someone else's arrival even worse. It's bitterly cold inside, so you push what's left of the bayonet apparatus up into one of the ceilings. Up into the ceiling, not into one of the ceilings, and close the door. Old blood, Nin says. The area next to the bed is filthy with frozen bandages and bloody towels. A rugged plastic case lies open and abandoned next to the bed. The case is full of stainless steel surgical tools. The ones in the case are pristine. Others scattered on the floor are lying among the stiff, dirty sheets and dark with old blood. Scarpa tried to heal himself, Nin says, picking up a large pair of forceps. He tried to dig out Eater of Names. Holy fuck! Maybe he thought he succeeded. Obviously he didn't. Look for documentation, any explanation of what he was doing. I'm intrigued by Scarpa's attempts at surgery. He was inventive. I have to give him that. What can I learn from these secretary tools? I want to finish checking for traps or threats. I watch the windows while Nin looks around. We don't want anyone to get stabbed in the heart. You check the windows. It's the same trigger that released the bayonet could have summoned worse dangers through electronic or mechanical means, but it's quiet outside. As you check each window, you find pieces of trap that Scarpa didn't have time to finish, including some shotgun shells you pocket for Podge. Satisfied that you're not under imminent threat, you examine the surgical tools. You retrieve them all and assemble them on the table, separating the pristine and bloody instruments. As you handle the tools, you realize that their design reminds you of Daphne Clear's pistol. It's not just a coincidental similarity either. The tools have the same sinuous lines and the same grain pattern on their handles. What the fuck? By this time, Nin has stripped the filthy bed, shaken it out, and turned out all the clothes, and then searched the empty bathroom without finding anything. The kitchen is also empty except for a few cereal boxes, but this place isn't that big. You both turn on your phone flashlights and work systematically. When you spot an odd shadow between the kitchen wall and ceiling, you reach up into a blind corner and pull out a notebook. The notebook spine reads Resurrection 412 in thick Sharpie on tape. The contents are handwritten and appear to start in the middle of a thought. They record the writer's notions about how to achieve bodily immortality as a werewolf. The infrequent diagrams show black spirals, unfamiliar glyphs, and sketches of environment suits, drawn with the skill and anatomical precision of a Vitruvian man. Eater of Names made this notebook, you're sure of it. The notebook is entirely full and ends as it begins, halfway through a thought. But 90% of the way through, Eater of Names discusses limitations and flaws in his approach. Here, you find Scarpa's ragged handwriting, his own notes and thoughts. These are Scarpa's plans to escape the infection that was killing him. You hear footfalls outside and reach into your backpack for your dagger. Nin peers out the window and then says, "It's Nomi." You stuff the notebook into your bag a second before Nin gets the blue-lipped journalist inside. I saw your phones, they say, teeth chattering. Nin cracks 2 hand warmers, squeezes one into Nomi's hands and pushes the other against her face. "Is this a human sacrifice or something?" Nomi says. "You can't tell me I'm hip. You can tell me I'm a hip." "Experimental surgery," you say, which is enough to intrigue Nomi without revealing too much. The grotesque display of dried blood and filthy bandages seem to warm Nomi up, and they're rummaging through the trash in no time. You let them work, confident that they found everything valuable. You don't want to leave anything for subsequent investigators to find, so you and Nin bag up the filthy bandages and bedding, put all the surgical tools in the box, and snap it shut. Even clear out the empty cereal boxes. The notebook is safe in your poncho as you wipe down every surface, then return to Trevor's cube. "How'd it go?" Trevor asks when you get back. "Awesome," Nomi says. "I think someone died in there." The journalist starts to explain the satanic human sacrifice and/or grey alien medical experiment in elaborate and confused detail as Trevor gets back on the road. A horrible scream rips through the cube and everyone jumps. "Hold on, that's me," Trevor says. He takes out his phone, checks it, winces, refuses the call. "Fuck is that?" Nomi says, visibly shaken. "Just a ringtone, calm down." Trevor mumbles, distracted. "Crystal." "Who?" "My ex." Was that Florence Pugh shrieking at the beginning of Midsummer?" Nomi asks. "Yeah," Trevor says, skimming a voicemail as he drives. "Your ringtone for your ex-girlfriend is Florence Pugh shrieking in Midsummer." Nomi asks. "You haven't met her," Trevor says. "You wouldn't understand. Anyway, where am I dropping you kids off?" "The radio station, next to Cavaletti to go." Nomi is happy to keep Scarpa's trash as clues, as long as they're also allowed to photograph the surgical equipment. Once that's done, Trevor takes them home, leaving you and Nin in the parking lot of the radio station, where Linus Harriman worked before his death. Nin knows the door code, so you text out and let yourself up in the dead Silverfang's old storage room, which no one ever cleaned out. Flyers dating back to the 1970s cover one wall, mostly from Northampton, but also from Bristol. Early shows by Jordan Day, Elton's father, and up and down the East Coast. Elton arrives a few minutes later and immediately sits on an ugly orange sofa as if that's where he always sits. Skims the book and fills more pages of his Book of January with key passages. But it's clear that it will take you a long time to figure your way through this text. You drag yourself away from the notebook. Elton is standing in front of the posters with a mug of coffee, lost in thought. He got into the surgical tools. The case is open. Nin is asleep in lupus form in front of the heater. Poor Scarpa tried to remove Eater of Names with those tools. It didn't work. Don't worry, Nomi doesn't know too much. I like that journalist and don't want to put them in danger. It's obvious that we still need to find the next notebook, the one that explains Eater of Names' mind or soul. The lucidity of his writing is horrific. Let's make sure as few people see it as possible. Yeah, poor Scarpa, dude. And unlike Eater of Names, Scarpa's writings are neither lucid nor complete. I can barely make sense of his notes. What about you? It was just a few diagrams he circled in the back of the notebook. Whatever his plan was to get Eater of Names out, I don't think he wrote it down. I may be able to learn more, Elton says, or even better, I might be able to figure out what Scarpa tried and failed to do. I'm going to compare this text to some others I have at the flat. The sun is rising and you're pretty sure Podge is making pancakes this morning. That'll take the chill from your bones. And you leave the notebook with Elton and head back to the cabin. Everyone gets a chance to check out Eater of Names' notebook, which ends up in Elton's flat next to the bust of Athena, who now wears a knitted Santa cap. But no one wants to look at it for too long. You're going to need to clear some time to investigate it more seriously. Nomi writes a dozen wildly improbable articles about Scarpa, places an article about an opioid ring at Langton Shelter at Vice, and thank Gorgon, never once mentions werewolves. Your thoughts are on the notebook as you leave work early to run some errands. 2 cops watch you as you run errands after work and before visiting Elton. You see them twice in 2 different locations, the UPS store and then outside the library, which you don't like. You note the badges, partially because one of them is named Hasselman, which is funny. The other is Hoop. Old school mustaches on both. You've also seen a bike officer around town, just sort of popping out of alleys when you're going on your errands. The local crust-punks consider Hasselman and Hoop dangerous, according to some of Nin's friends. The big bike cop is just a creep. You keep an eye on all of them. Maybe you look like a bum. Maybe that's why they're staring at you. So your next stop is your cabin for a quick shower. Excuse me. A loud mechanical bang echoes down your dirt road in the cold. Still winter air. You don't think Podge was home today. What is he messing with? You hurry down the road, then freeze when you see what's happening in the cabin. The solar panels Podge installed on the roof lie in a heap on the snowy ground around the house. The wind turbine's pone is down, and the wind turbine lies smashed outside against the side of the cabin, where it fell, cracking a window. The window to your room is open. Someone is throwing plants, grow lights, and computer equipment out the window onto the driveway. Al Gaultier's truck is parked next to Drax's even larger rig, and you count 2 Hampshire County Sheriff's Department SUVs nearby. Mr. Gaultier himself stands in the open doorway, shouting up to his sons Jack and Todd. When Todd spots you, he freezes, and Al Gaultier turns surly. There you fucking are. We're removing all this illegal shit you put in your house in violation of your lease, fucker. He straightens his pork pie hat and glares at you. I read my lease and we haven't violated anything. You're in a great deal of trouble, Mr. Gaultier. I break his nose to get started. I'm going to sue you so hard you have to sell your dumb little house on eBay, and you're lucky I don't do more. I immediately call Podge. This is packed business. He has sensitive research material in this locked room. You were subletting. Violation of section XXV11. My lease specifies occupants plural, you say. You specified that when I moved in. The lease also says that the cabin can't be used as a residential dwelling, as can be used as a residential dwelling, as well as general research, given that it's considered mixed-use zoning. You're in a lot of legal trouble already. And one flies out the window and shatters. Mr. Gaultier says. Look, this is just a little correction. We'll be done in a half hour. Don't clutter my space again. This is a flagrant violation of your lease, and you're about to bring your copy up on your phone when a potted plant hits your head. The clay breaks, showering you back dirt. Oops, sorry, Todd, Mr. Gaultier's younger son says. He throws more plants out the window. You touch your bloody scalp. Mr. Gaultier laughs. What do you think of that, kid? He licks his teeth, but you see him calculating. He's wondering if he's pushed you too far. There are dark circles under his eyes, and his breath is dyspeptic. Even through your growing rage, you wonder why they're doing this. Now, you need to finish up here before Patrick gets here, but I know I can't do anything. I'll back off. Something isn't right here. I can't fight directly, but I call upon Al for clear vision and try to figure out what's really going on. I push back and persuade him to back down. I am serious when I say you're in a lot of legal trouble. Stop while you still can. If you don't stop right now, those cops won't get to you fast enough, I swear. I punch Mr. Gaultier in the face, then head upstairs to deal with his sons. Let's do this one. Goba 5 rage and enters frenzy. Oh no! I forgot that I was in Friends. I was really close. Oh fuck. You don't scare me, Al Gaultier says. And then he said, okay, can we wait? I'm just gonna see if I can reload that. Ooh, chat. Oh, chat. Al Gaultier says. Then he says more stuff, but you don't get it. Because you've reached your absolute fucking limit with the Gaultiers. Your rage tears through you. Mr. Gaultier has a second to stumble backwards and fall. You howl, then explode out of your clothes to become a hulking horror of white fang and blue-grey fur that looms over the Gaultiers. They scream as the delirium washes over them, but you don't hesitate. Drax charges blindly, shrieking in wild panic. You slap the pipe away, taking his arm with it, then catch him with a backhand that flings him into his truck. That's when Mr. Gaultier pulls something out of his coat, a revolver, and opens fire. Ah! Okay. Todd charges you from behind, screaming and holding a kitchen knife, but he's shaking with fear, totally ineffectual. Rather than falling back, you step into his charge and sweep your clawed hand. Oh, that's when you notice the cops. Oh, fuck. I'm going to call a Great L. Fuck cops. You throw yourself at the cops as they open fire. Your charge, so ferocious that their shots go wide. The first deputy screams as you bound effortlessly over his SUV and bring your claws down on his face. You half sever his head, pick up the corpse, and fling it at another deputy. The slaughter is quick and horrific as you splash the sheriff SUVs With blood and guts, Todd and the other guy fumble for a police shotgun, so overwhelmed with delirium that they can't hold the weapon. You kill them without much effort, then flick them away into the field. Still mad with rage, you lope through the scrub toward the sound of yelling. Your nearest neighbours, also hidden in the woods of this dead-end road, always with the lawnmower. You burst out of the woods, and there he is, with the, what is that, snowblower? Also annoying. He screams as you slash him down to the dirty snow, splashing it with blood. You smash into his little house looking for anything that deserves your wrath. You find a dog, but it dies too fast, and then you just rip the kitchen apart until you collapse, shuddering with exhaustion and fury. Oh, a smell of smoke. You don't know what you did, but this place is burning. You rise in your Homid form, throw up, and hear sirens in the distance. Your backpack is still hanging on your shoulder, though you'll have to replace a torn strap, so you still have your dagger and phone. You grab some clothes and force yourself to think. We freaked our bean. Jesus Christ. Your backpack is still hanging on your shoulder, though you'll have to replace a torn strap. You've lost the cabin for good and don't want cops finding your trail of destruction. You text Podge and tell him as much as you're willing to admit. Shit, okay, stay away from the cabin. I'm gonna do a thing. You hear a little whump in the distance, an explosion. You climb a low hill, moving cautiously over the ice and try to see over the suburban houses to your cabin. Should be due north of your position. Then there's that's when a second explosion goes off like a missile strike. Fragments of wood and metal fly 1,000 feet into the air, then start to rain down on the airfield. Half a minute later, a faint hot wind reaches you, carrying the smell of blackened wood and burning accelerants. You get off the hill and keep moving. Checking your phone again when you reach the train tracks. Everyone's in the group chat. Did Northampton blow up? Podge, what was that? It might have been a meteor impact. Oh, guys, I think I blew up Celine. What are we all talking about? No, I'm here. Melody, get out of your hobbit hole and look south. Oh, come on. Podge, how much of our research trade do you think we just lost? My idols have offended the gods. I'm sorry. The Gaultiers ambushed me. It all went wrong. So, who wants to put me up for the night? I'm worried about my stuff. Decreased in value despite the guarantees I received. Yeah. What happened to downtown? Elton, did you summon Vahan or something? Don't worry, Celine, that place was never going to last. I didn't do anything. I'm just reading about slave patrols in the 19th century New England trying to relax. That's what you read to relax? No, I just blew up the house so the cops wouldn't break into my office and find my crimes. But I actually have another problem. It's winter. Does anyone have a spare room? No? Nope. Come on, what about Celine? You guys like Celine. You can stay with me. It's sometimes lonely out here. This is Nin. Lonely out here, so you can stay as long as you don't plant bombs. Actually, the old Bernicki mansion might be the best place, mostly because not many people know about it. I've already fixed it up a bit. Thanks, Nin. We'll be there. I will prepare sleeping bags and candy bars. It's better than nothing. So we, consequently, I flipped our shit and I've now lost the wolf. That's not good. Oopsie poopsie. Ooh woo. The cabin is a total loss. At least your laptop was in your bag, but your bike is gone. You'll have to buy a new one. After some negotiation, Lucinda picks you up in her minivan and ferries you to the Bernicki estate, which looks like a black ruin against the cloudy sky. The Decline of Western Civilization Part 4, The Garu Nation, Podge mutters as he enters the key code for the door on the verdigris-encrusted brass plate. Despite his grumbling, the bone gnawer fixed it up pretty well, even before he knew he'd have to live there. In addition to the old tower Nin set herself up for herself, ground floor, kitchen, bath, second floor, rec room, third floor bedroom, storage in the spire. The bone gnawer has restored the second floor salon with its spacious, if cracked, windows where you can sleep, and a workshop down a servant's hallway, which connects to the garage and has its own bathroom. Podge immediately claims that whole neglected wing and starts setting up his computer equipment. Oopsie poopsie. Elton really comes through for your various icons and treasures. He has tons of old rights to find and recover lost talismans and talons and idols. It takes him less than a day to recover your modest collection. You were lucky. Ridiculously, you have work tomorrow. You do not have enough clothes to go out in public, though, so after a long discussion about how much trouble you might be in, Elton decides that you should go to work, with Melody staking out Gorski Manor by pretending to be a visitor. 2 state police officers show up around 10:30 and your stomach falls out, but they just ask you questions about a patient who died last month. You direct them to Mr. Weiss, then lurk outside the door. But it's just a routine inquiry about where some of the dead patient's personal effects ended up. Nothing to do with you. Even though you know Charlie, the orderly's girlfriend, stole the jewelry. After your shift, you treat Melody to a dinner of soup and sandwiches pilfered from the cafeteria. Only after you eat, as Melody scrolls her phone, do the two of you realize how much else has happened. She gives you a summary as you skim the group chat with growing alarm. Alton fired from his job at the bookstore, the Philodok says. Nin arrested. A hog-thrown show attacked by Nazis with saber and steel masks. Lucinda's arts and industry building purchased by an unknown developer, and all tenants turned out. All within 48 hours, while you and Nin followed Scarpa's trail. They picked her up the very next morning when she went back to Langton. Motherfucker. Is Alton going to a WTA? As important are his books going to be okay? Wait, Nina's arrested? We gotta bail her out before she changes the jail cell and tears the veil. Did the cult attack Hogthrone again? We need to step out of defenses or move into the attack. What about our lands? Are they safe? Do Lucinda and Roscoe need a place to stay? Yeah, let's ask about Lucinda. That's kind of you, Celine, but it sounds like they're okay. Lucinda lost some work, but she doesn't live in the arts industry building. And Roscoe lost some gear and they slashed his tires, but he called in a favour with some friends of his, so he's back on his feet. Still, this isn't good. Melody links you to the relevant texts. It sounds like they're both angry, but okay. Other texts discuss Nin, already escaped, the bookstore. Eldon has smuggled some occult tomes out of storage the night he was fired, and the attack on Hogthrone, police raid, a few arrests, but everyone is fine. I'm worried about our territory. I'm going to spend some time in Lupus form patrolling Nin's woods and Podge's slums to make sure no one's tried moving in. Your thoughts turn to your investigation. After a long day settling into your new home, you consider what to try next. Okay, so it seems like the cult of Fenris are moving. They have, like, ins with the police. They have, like, I don't know about the bookstore. But if they're buying up real estate, we need to be... Like, this is the closest we can get to, like, Fenris right now. Let's go with Elton. You wait for a day when no one is scheduled to work. Sorry, I was already putting the drink to my face when I started speaking. Then text Elton as you eat a bowl of oatmeal. Today's a good day for it. Podge frying eggs on the huge and temperamental stove of the Benicki estate. Oh, fuck, wait, my timer didn't go off. Okay, 1 second. Nobody panic. The integrity of the chicken nuggies is fine. Podge frying eggs on the huge and temperamental stove of the Benicki estate. It's half-prepared kitchen says. I wanted to start my investigation of the pattern line, but I need to put this back together. The bone gnawer stares into space, so lost in thought that he's letting his cereal get soggy. But he never lets his cereal get soggy. Computer and power equipment he can replace, but he's really broken up about the loss of his plants. Let me know if anything comes up, you tell him as your phone boops. This is Elton. I've been reviewing the photographic records you sent us and studying the watermarks, and I have some bad news. We're going to have to get a job. I have one, as do I. We are the two most functional members of our unfortunate pack. You're in the group chat, Elton. I wouldn't apologize for the truth. I won't apologize for the truth is great. Wait, did that just say there was an ad going on? No, stop it. Criminal. Yes, don't worry, the chicken nuggies are fine. They're only a little bit golden brown. Otherwise they're okay. Elton sends you a link to multiple addresses around the area, including a job placement firm, which appears in several photographs. Halcyon Place. That might be where to start. At the very least, you can ask around and figure out how that staffing firm connects to Hood and Neo Albion. You have to pull a half shift at Gorski Manor, because the fallout from Terry Klein's death has led to Mr. Weiss ordering a full scrub of the reception area in case the press arrives. Nomi, who has already been there and posted 3 articles on Cahoots, does not count as press, in the estimation of Mr. Weiss or the always enigmatic Mr. Gorski. You spend 4 hours with Ernesto, laying new carpet. When it's done, your fingers ache with the sort of laboured weariness that even regeneration won't banish. You consider asking Mr. Gorski directly for a raise, but he only works nights, and there's a chance that you might be able... You see why I think he's a fucking vampire? You might be able to get a new job on your way to Neo Albion. What if the new job is better? You're idly searching for new jobs on your phone when Podge appears from around the corner. This place feels like Silent Hill level. I can't believe you work here. What's up? You ask the Bone Nora. You would expect it Elton. Show me your phone, he says. You hold it up. He grabs it. The Bone Nora has fast hand and works some kind of gift. Hey, you say as he does the same thing on your laptop. You're about to object further when you feel spirits moving through the umbra. You're reminded of your trip to Everlight HQ. Heat and pressure, a sound and smell like grinding steel. Okay, that's all of you, Podge says. We've had some spirits snooping around our chats. It was a huge fight to get Elton to hand his stuff over. He's starting to investigate Neo Albion, you know. We ran some leads down together, but it's not easy with that guy. I'm trying to act all casual when Elton's like, "Excuse me, good sir, when might I partake of the Dunkin' Donuts?" Anyways, I had to do some serious haggling with Rat, but the cockroach and centipede spirits should help us keep us secure for a while. Could it be that drone from Everlight HQ? I still want to learn more about Weaver spirits. We already lost our home. What next? We shouldn't be using our phones anyway. We're werewolves, not a tech stop. We already lost our home. I'm sad about it. Yeah. I don't want Nin to lose her place because we're being hunted due to bad OPSEC. Podge says. But I think we're safe here, at least physically. No, look. I don't have any proof, but from the kind of intrusions I've seen, I think Miss Clear is too interested in us. Now, she's not our pack, and werewolves like to watch each other, that's fine. But these data intrusions are too aggressive. These cockroach spirits are strong, and they should keep us safe for a few weeks while I investigate more. Just be careful. That's troubling. Yep, you and Podge discuss the problem as you finish your workday and clean up. Podge leaves before you do to get in touch with your human allies and make sure no one is monitoring their texts. I'm cooking nugget. I got my nuggies, chat. They're very hot. Just sort of shoved them in my mouth without ceremony. Elton has probably been, sorry. Ah. Oh, I'm still so sniffly. This is so awful. Elton has probably been investigating Hasseltine all day. You haven't had time because of work, but you'd like to know if you're walking into an obvious trap. Who's beyond the veil but trustworthy? And who is currently in a warm room, possibly with muffins? Nin's band? They've booked time at the recording studio on Masonic Street, so that's where you go. Trevor, the front man, lets you in and says, "You look awful. Come on in. I'll get Nin." I didn't come here for... Actually, that's fine. You let him get Nin. Then chat with the Wolfborn for a few minutes. She talks your ear off about the new Blood Ceremony album. The studio walls are about 90% stickers. A palimpsest of bands dating back to probably the invention of stickers. There's some obviously high-end recording gear in that glass booth thing you've only seen in movies. But the furniture here looks like it was pulled out of a house fire. You find yourself on a patched beanbag chair as the band uses your appearance as an excuse to take a break. They chat about music and life's hassles as you consider a way to bring up Hasseltine placement. I'm here for Hasseltine and willing to push pretty hard to get information. I want to know about Hasseltine, but I don't want to draw attention to myself. I'd rather just make sure that Nin knows I can be trusted around her bandmates rather than pumping them for information. Let's do that. You pointedly avoid bringing up Hasseltine placement as the band shoots the shit. Instead, you just listen to funny stories and practice deflecting the truth about who and what you are. The band talks about bad dates, bad drugs, disastrous shows, and the transformation of metal into something niche, somewhat niche genre like jazz. When they realize you haven't seen Heavy Metal Parking Lot, they make sure you watch it on a 13-inch television screen with an attached VHS player, just like the ones they stole in The Fast and the Furious. The movie is only 20 minutes of extremely dim heavy metal fans from the 80s. It's really fun, and it helps you understand what Saint Homunculus, philosophical, politically active, technically complex, is reacting to. Alright, Neem seems relieved that you're not as weird as some of your other packmates, and you get to hang around and help out and stay warm for the rest of the afternoon. It's almost sunset when Elton texts you to meet him at his flat. You thank the band for letting you hang out, then cut across Main Street. wincing at the cold, and head upstairs. The fire roars inside, fed by old pallets looted from the alley below. Catherine stares down at you from her usual spot. Did you call or text anyone? Elton asked from his walnut desk, which is visible for the first time after a massive reorganization following the sale of so many books. No, I spent the day with St. Homunculus, you say. Good, Elton says. I have an address, phone number, and email for the Hasseltine placement, so we're good to go. All we need now is for you to simulate normal human behavior. As he talks, he moves yellow pages off an antique phone and dials a number using the wheel thingy on the front. Theo hands you the black Bakelite receiver. Be careful not to get tangled up in the cord. A receptionist picks up on the second ring. Hasseltine placement. The goal here is New Albion. Good afternoon. I'm calling about a security position I heard was available. Might as well see if I can get a better job. Hello, I'm returning a call about a job interview. Elton wants this grey market operation either suborned or removed. Calling about a private security, yeah. Your name? You make something up. I see, the receptionist says, hesitating a little. I'm afraid we don't actually have any positions in security available right now, as they've all been filled. I had expected a call back. Could you confirm the phone number I gave you? I'm not actually. You hear the click of a keyboard. Maybe it would be easy if I checked my information in person. Could I confirm your address? You're open to 5, correct? Yes, the receptionist says. She doesn't hesitate before she reads out a street address on William Street. That's 10 minutes from the flat, between Main Street and where your cabin used to be. You thank the receptionist and hang up. Great work, love, Elton says. This matches one of the addresses I have here. You know that you're going to have to misrepresent yourself with vigor and enthusiasm to get anywhere there, right? What about you, you ask? I won't go in unless you text me. Let me know if there's trouble. Chicken nuggies. You both cut through backyards and hurry down sleepy streets until you reach the residential address around 4:45, which doesn't give you much time to work. Elton stamps his ragged boots and looks around for a cafe or bar where he can wait, but it's just private houses in every direction. Hasseltine is an ugly brick and vinyl duplex hastily converted into an office. The reception has to buzz you in. Okay, I think we've still lost the wolf. Yeah, that's not great. Cheap, tatty office furniture. So old and faded it's like an intentional aesthetic choice. Avocado and orange chairs. Steel desks rusted in the corner. Water-stained drop ceilings with buzzing fluorescent lights. You half expect the receptionist desk to have only a ledger and a phone, the colour of old cigarettes, but the slim young woman wears modern office casual and sits behind 2 laptops. As you turn the corner, past fading notices on a corkboard, you see a 4x5 grid of tablet screens displaying jobs, local housing options, and stock performance. Hi, I'm Lynn, you say. She gives you a wintry smile, then remembers herself. She doesn't seem to connect you to the call you just made. Maybe you spoke to someone else. Instead, she treats you like anyone else who just stumbled in off the street looking for work. She pumps up a new file on her computer. It's time to lie about your name, address, skill set, aspirations, and everything else. Okay, so we've got composure and subterfuge. I stay cool despite her rapid-fire questionings. I want a new job, and I don't want to get caught in a lie. As I lie, I try to manipulate the secretary into revealing what Hasseltine is, and if it's criminal enough that Elton needs to deal with it. I radiate easy, if mostly false warmth and friendliness. No reason to antagonize this person. As I lie, I match wits with the secretary and try to trick her into telling me more about New Albion. So that's wits and subterfuge, right? I don't have any subterfuge. So this is bad. So do I have more composure, wits, or manipulation, or charisma? Composure, wits, manipulation, charisma. I've got more composure. Though she's no older than you, the secretary is a veteran at getting weirdos to fill out forms. She asks you a dozen questions a minute, and though you keep your cool, she notes a few inconsistencies, and you want this job badly enough that you can feel your patience fraying. Nonetheless, you don't say anything explicitly deranged or easy to disprove. And it's obvious that the secretary wants to get you out of here and close up for the night. She studies the laptop in front of her. We don't have a lot of openings right now, is the problem, but I do have one position at a local company called Stool Pigeon. What do they do, you ask? They move, clean, and sanitize portable toilets. You sigh. Does it pay? Of course, no one does that for the love of the game. First shift is next Monday, 9 AM. Are you interested? I'll be there, you say. It's a bit worse than what I normally do, you explain as Elton labels out soup back at his flat. What is it? I'll be cleaning portable toilets, you say. Elton stirs his beef and barley. I would not be helping with that, he says. I need someone to drive the toilets around, you say. I can't drive. You spend the supper hour talking about anything else and spending a few days getting some practice in by scrubbing the Gorski Manor toilets before you receive an email late Sunday night. You're on for tomorrow. You forward the email to Elton, who agrees to drive if he doesn't have to handle the back end. I fucking love this shit. After a brief orientation, you're provided with an official stool pigeon truck you can't drive. That's equipped with a vacuum system, and Elton won't even look at. Apparently, the Portalogix 1150 is the state-of-the-art in sucking shit and hauling it around. At least Elton is willing to drive, slowly since he doesn't have a license. It's fun. It's not fun. On the other, it's fun. Cleaning toilet shit is very fun, chat. You should know this. On the other hand, you're provided with head-to-toe gear for handling hazardous waste and a decontamination shower back at the main stool pigeon facility. On the third hand, while installing the Johns and hooking them up to the truck, it's easy. The vacuum cleaning is incredibly complicated. You have some trouble the first day. In fact, you blow up a toilet. But it was a clean toilet, so though you're showered in bits of plastic, you're not showered in anything else. You decide not to tell anyone. Elton's sitting in the driver's seat and reading a biography of Joseph Glanville pointedly ignores both you and the plastic flinders fluttering out around you. After the first incident, though, it gets easier, until after 4 or 5 days of sucking and lugging shit, you're almost starting to get good at it. But you're doing this job to learn more about Neo Albion, and your breakthrough comes in the form of a terse email after more than a week of flushing portable toilets. Is it really going to be that easy, you ask Elton, as you dress after your sanitizing shower? It might be, Elton says, reading the email you were forwarded him. The day after tomorrow, you're installing portable toilets at a construction site. The name on the forwarded email is Roland Rothko, Hood Development. You recognize the hirsute cultist from Hogthrone. Nom nom. Okay, the chicken nuggets have been finished. This is the chance you've been waiting for. Physical access to a Neo Albion adjacent facility. You and Elton can investigate the construction site as you work. You tell Ernesto you'll make up your hours at Gorski Manor later in the week and spend the next 2 days with Elton gathering as much information as you can about the construction site without drawing attention. Elton has a romantic streak and treats each get-together as a date, complete with a little picnic lunch in a basket. That's so cute. The gesture is so ridiculous that it's hard not to love. Love it. There's nothing on any of your computer mapping programs and few records or newspaper reports. But after calling every general contractor in the valley, Elton finds the site's address. It's south of town in East Hampton. The photo you took from Conrad's house include a photograph that matches what you can see of the address from Google. Nothing is developed in the 2-year-old photo, but another page shows what might be development plans for a gated community. Your fellow Garu are off conducting their own investigations, but this is important enough that Roscoe and Hobland both volunteer to assist you and the Theurge. Roscoe will drive the truck, while Hobland will stand by in his jeep. Ready for a hasty evacuation, in case things go wrong. But the morning of your investigation starts off normal. Even boring, as you check your antibacterial gloves and boots before picking up the toilets. The development is at the end of a mostly deserted residential road in East Hampton, with property adjoining the winding Manhan River. Work has just started, probably in preparation for groundbreaking, when spring thaws the frozen earth. Roscoe drives the truck in to a hastily erected gate that you know wouldn't stop a fast-moving vehicle. Beyond it, you see an old farmhouse, the kind of place Hogthrone likes to occupy, and some temporary structures. You hear the roar of chainsaws. They're clear-cutting the wood in preparation for construction. Roscoe rolls the sanitation truck to a hole in front of the gate, and the guard bangs on the passenger side window where you're sitting. The window rolls down, and you find yourself staring into the scarred face of a man you remember from the drone room fight at Everlight HQ. It's a miracle that he kept both eyes. Cosmetic surgeons have done what they can for his nose and jaw. The scars make his face look shiny and artificial in the bright winter sunlight. His eyes, beneath the beneath the black Neo-Albion cut, betray no recognition of you. I keep it serious and professional. I keep it serious and professional. Dropping off portable toilets. Time to learn everything I can. I'll need a record of worker shifts so I know when to come back. These damn humans are already ripping the forest down. Noisy around here. Time to learn everything I can, I think. Let's keep it professional so far, actually. Do you know anything about this? The man asks his supervisor. When he turns, you see the 45 automatic in his parka. Yeah, get them to building 1, the civilian supervisor says, before returning to an argument with the third man. This one's complained about how cold his workers are. Watched by guards armed with pistols, but nothing more. As you're less than quarter mile from the town centre despite the thick screen of woods, you stop outside the nearest building and receive lanyards, security instructions, and a map of the facility. The map is an optimistic projection, as almost nothing has been built yet. Jasper is in visitor parking. Harmony texts you that she's monitoring your location from her laboratory under the old bottling plant. Wait. Under the old bottling... Wait, yeah, no, that's not right. The Broadbrick Garu executed Jasper when David Benicki sold weapons to someone. Harmony is Melody's sister. She's dead. They're both dead. It's happening again, chat! Like, it's so weird. It's starting to get weird, isn't it, Celine? Forgive me for not explaining everything. But do you know how many times I've explained this to you? How many times I've explained it to other people? Eventually, even Vahan can't force me to repeat myself again. And here I am, reefed in a little cloud of lightning. But are you sure it's me? I look healthy and well, not like an old alley cat. Am I growing stronger? Maybe you should ask Black Tarn, or is someone else supposed to be here? It's Elton. He's my friend. He'll understand what's happening. I look around for him. Roscoe, he's just a human, but he understands the importance of honor among the Garu. Who knows we're stronger together? Where is he? I'm under attack. I need Hoblin. He can fight physical threats, but he respects the glory of the Garu, I call him. I am Elton. Elton, what are you talking about? Elton is dead! No! It sounds like you're confused. Should we talk to Catherine or Harmony? Then a roar from behind you. A Shadow Lord's howl of anger and surprise. The Stormcat flees, or rather something flees. And you feel part of yourself going with it, tumbling into some deep and alien part of the Umbra. You stumble and clutch your chest as you feel an assault upon your spirit. The ache soon pass, leaving you feeling hollow and used up. Roscoe is in visitor parking. Hoblin texts you that he's due north of your position, a few hundred feet away through dense woods. I'm going to stay out of sight, talk to the spirits, Elton says, stamping his feet against the cold. Celine, you alright? Yeah, you say. Should you say something about what just happened, or about the strange interactive video at Gorski Manor? You open your mouth, but Elton cuts you off. I'm seeing some cult spirits nearby. I'm going to check them out, the Theurge says, leaving you to examine the portable toilets currently on site and consider how to approach the investigation. This is so creepy. It's like I don't know if what I'm in already is the like deception of reality, or if like the whole thing with like Catherine and but Eater of Names is a fucking like it's a goddamn black spiral. What the fuck is happening? I hate this. Okay, I don't like it. My boy, my shadow daddy, no. Okay, one sec. I'm just taking my meds real fast. I'm checking my messages. This is so spooky. Right. Minimize that. I also may have to go piss girl in a minute. I've had a bunch of my gamer subs already. It's probably not a good idea. I'm going to be bouncing off the fucking walls. Roscoe is in visitor parking. Hoblin texts you that he's due north the... we've done all that. Al and I are looking for hidden operational areas, so I use my brain to hunt for covered up footprints, scrape clean arcs on floors, anything like that. I feel my way around, relying on my wits and my instinctive understanding of Al, looking for anything that seems out of place or unnatural. I call on Al and patiently watch the workers move around and get a feel for their patterns in any places they avoid. Let's do this. This is going to take a while, you realize. You have to be patient, both to follow the workers and to avoid attention. After unloading the new portable toilets and going down your sanitation checklist, you start following clusters of workers as they move from one area to the next. Occasionally listening in, never getting close enough or moving in a pattern weird enough to make them notice. You overhear little slices of conversation. The huge guy, Vindlerson, worked out of the farmhouse, but new organization handling finances used to have connections with aerospace and defense. Aerospace? That reminds me of Eater of Names. A site of religious pilgrimage back when they burned witches. This whole area, in fact. Wish they'd just tear down that house. Eyes keep going to that old farmhouse, or conspicuously ignore it. So it's worth checking out. You wait until no security personnel are watching you, and then hop through the window. Not much here, except some folding tables and chairs stacked against the wall. Did Vindless and the big cultist work here? The most notable feature is an antique brick fireplace, still in reasonably good shape. What did the chemist say about burning witches? The fireplace is big enough to burn you in it. You take off one glove and touch the bricks. They're ice cold, but the soot in the fireplace looks new. You grab a broken mop and nudge the soot until you stir up the scorched remnants of a handwritten letter. The handwriting is shaking and the scorching means you can only find out a few words. Transfer funding away from the cult to Eon's holdings. This will require some complicated banking and crypt. Eon? Eater of Names. Someone you think is moving money from the cult of Fenris to Eater of Names. You stuff the paper into your pocket. What I don't get is why the cult of Fenris is working with the Black Spiral Dancers. I mean, I kind of do. I don't know if they've completely fallen to the worm. It's interesting. You're digging around. Also reveals that the huge antique fireplace connects to another room. Lingering in the farmhouse is risky, but you can see computer equipment in there. You pass through a drafty interior hallway, then stop. The ground here, and in parts of the adjoining rooms, has been bricked over. Why is the floor brick? It's so cold it hurts your feet. You follow the corridor until you find recent evidence of pick work. The bricks are broken in one small corner, and you can see some kind of mosaic beneath. Like this place used to be a Roman bath, even though it's in New England. But you can't make out the mosaic, so you keep moving to the other room, which was once a kitchen. More equipment here. You see a laptop and a scattering of expense report printouts on the kitchen table. No names, just numbers. A printer abandoned among broken crockery, a tarp that covers a diesel generator, and small wooden filing cabinet. Opening the filing cabinet reveals expense reports. The reports are recent and mention Hood Development along with their subcontractors. The cabinet is next to an incompletely boarded up window, and when you look outside you spot Elton examining a huge earth mover. After a moment he leaves it and heads your way. Then he suddenly retreats back down the hill and hides behind the earth mover. A moment later you spot the scarred man from the entry gate. He's obviously looking for you and Elton. His eyes go to the farmhouse and you duck, glad that the sun has almost set. We already have some information, it's time to go. There's a guard coming, great, I can grab him and make him talk. My Glabro form. I don't think I have one spit of rage right now. So I could go Glabro. Do we want to blow our cover? Because my wits and computers? Nah, that's not happening. Make holding this filing cabinet easier. What's in the filing cabinet? Anything good? Let's have a look first. Almost certainly. The only problem is that 20 seconds of searching reveals that these printouts are completely disorganized. Like someone just shoved them into folders at random and you don't have time to search. Let's go Glabro. Reach Rage 0 lose access. Yeah. You have temporarily lost the wolf throughout. Rage cannot shapeshift or benefit from gifts. You retrieve an old tarp, wrap up the filing cabinet so it's not obvious that you're stealing a filing cabinet, and change. Your poncho feels uncomfortably tight right now, but you have no problem lifting the filing cabinet. You carry it to the window, drop it outside, and follow it through, picking it up again. Got yourself a little present, Elton asks, almost startling you into dropping the cabinet. He's not looking at you. He's watching the guards down below. Are they onto us, you ask? One is, Elton says. He moves to take the front half of the cabinet. But you've got a good grip on it now. You shake your head. Okay, follow me, he says. Down below, the truck rumbles to life in the parking lot. You reach Roscoe at the turnaround and stow your prize in the slot vacated by the portable toilets that's now outside Building 1. What's that, Elton? I finally ask. Filing cabinet, you say. You fall silent as Roscoe rolls up to the gate. This is good. Is there going to be a problem here? All set, the board guard says. You lean to look into the side mirror window and spot the scarred man hurrying your way. Yeah, but it's 5 o'clock. We're out. The guard is already raising the hastily installed gate. Have a good one, he says. Roscoe accelerates. You're clear. Yeah, we did it! We did it, chat! Roscoe takes the truck down some obscure side street while Elton watches the road behind you, but it looks quiet. We're going to need to get rid of this vehicle, Elton says as he texts Hobland. I'm going to park it in a garage, pull the oats, then strip it, Roscoe says. Hobland can get us home. Elton tells you, reading his texts. Hoblin meets you in an abandoned parking lot, and you head into his Jeep, then back on the road. Let's open up this filing cabinet, Elton says. Can we maybe wait? Hoblin asks, his knuckles white on the steering wheel. Actually, hold on, I also have this, you say, rummaging around until you retrieve the scorched piece of paper you took from the fireplace. Elton reads it, then reads it twice more. He looks more annoyed with every read. I'm worried about Miss Clear, he says. Why? He returns to the scrap of paper. Because this is her handwriting. Oh, fuck! The Theurge says. Hoblin drops the two of you off at Elton's place and drives off before anyone can ask him to hump the filing cabinet upstairs. But it's not that heavy, and you get into the living room. A bit ugly, but I can use it. You open the cabinet, revealing hundreds of disorganized documents. Well, the Theurge says, I'll make coffee. There's no real trick to deciphering the documents. They're just printouts of payments along with emails and to and from vendors. There's no evidence of a conspiracy here, like with that scrap of paper you found. But after organizing the files, you now know at least 20 companies that are contracting with Hood Development and or Neo Albion. And several emails strongly indicate that Hood affiliated companies are using Neo Albion as muscle to threaten their vendors and suppliers. This isn't enough to make a national case or even Cahoot's article, but you now have valuable insight into how Hood is operating and moving into the area. A kind of business web. You take photographs of everything. I spoke with the spirits of that horrible place, Elton says. Do you know how when you look into the Umbra, everything is burning like a California bushfire, as if you're glimpsing a future you can't avoid? Not exactly, but you nod. The spirits there are burning. Oh my god, Elton says, stoking the fire in his elaborate fireplace. Podge calls the Count of Fenris eco-fascist, but I don't think they're that. Hood Development looks like any other development project tainted by the worm, like Etherlight or the irradiated wasteland around Vermont Yankee. You know them? You nod. Did the spirits say anything, you ask, cupping the bowl of soup in to warm up your hands? They told me people who worked at various construction companies around town have gone missing, Elton says. They fear for Morai. You and Melody might want to put on your hard hats and look into that. Am I getting another job, you ask? Wherever it takes to learn about this Femora I love. But I couldn't learn much because there are Weaver spirits everywhere. Daphne clears Weaver spirits, monitoring the site, especially where it intersects with those parts of the digital Umbra that intersect with banking data. Miss Clear's Weaver spirits are working happily through the burning worm fire that surrounds the construction site. What does it all mean? Elton even doesn't know or won't commit to an answer. We gotta confront Daphne. She's being naughty. You finish your stew, permit yourselves an hour of dancing slowly to old-timey music. They're so cute. They're so cute, dude. What the fuck? I love them so much. Then get back to work, because there's always more to do. You leave the Theurge to conduct supernatural reconnaissance with the help of his spirit allies. It doesn't look like Neo Albion has noticed much, so you head back to the Benicki estate and conduct a little more research, then get a good night's sleep, for once before your 9 a.m. shift at Gorski Manor. Your other allies didn't just sit around while you and Elton explored the Neo Albion / Cult of Fenris construction site. Melody uncovered a link between Esther's Brook, which gave Esther's restaurant its name, and Broadbrook. Where these two brooks mingle, she discovered a foam ore factory hidden under the reservoir that supplies Northampton with its drinking water. Ew! The horrors there made David Benicki's nightmare stables look pleasant. Disgusted, Melody smashed the supports that kept the water out, drowned the entire facility. But she learned something about the Moffamora you fought at Esther's, and she's eager to report. And while Melody investigated the origins of the Moffamora, Podge traced the pattern line back to a hidden server site almost next door. Before its self-destruction, he was able to extract data from the server about how Eater of Names transferred his intelligence, his soul, if you're feeling mystical, back into a living body from its hidden location in the Umbra. You learn all of this in person as people drop by the Benicki estate or appear at Gorski Manor, as Podge has encouraged everyone to stay off their electronic devices as he works more gifts on your equipment. He's also bolstered security at your new place by adding a more extensive camera network to the keycard locks. The Bone Gnawer drops by Gorski Manor to tell you about a meeting at Elton's flat tomorrow. He wants everyone to stay off their phones. He plans to relay instructions to everyone the old-fashioned way, since he's currently fixing up a new truck. It's the same sort of old light pickup he used to drive, except a dull maroon instead of white and blue. And it's a Ford this time. You think the old one was a Toyota. I want to know more about the spirits Podge is using to guard our communications. I visit Gorgon and meditate on these digital guardians. If we're worried about Daphne Clear, let's be proactive. I scout the outside of GRC Media. No gifts or intrusion, nothing that gets me noticed, just watching. I need to keep my head down until we can put all the pieces together. I stay offline and at work. After losing the cabin, my main concern is physical security. How can we defend this new place? So we could be proactive, or we can, like, shore up our defenses. I don't want to be caught, like, look like we know something. Or I could visit Gorgon. Right, I'm going to think about it while I go piss girl, I think. So I am once again going to leave you with like a 30-second ad or something, maybe a 60-second one, because I also need to clean up my tray for my chicken nuggies. So I will be right back, chat. We're going to go on the BBRB screen, and I will see you in but a moment. I must simply execute the ritual. I'm so sorry, chat. I had to... I just, That took me a bit longer than expected. I have managed to injure myself. Not right now. It is not a present, it's just an annoying thing I didn't notice. I, like, whacked, like, the edge of my knee earlier today on something, and I didn't think anything of it. And, like, I only looked down now, and when I was sort of, like, checking in with my body, like, am I feeling anything weird? And I was like, oh, wow, my knee really hurts really bad. It's, like, really swollen, so I had to get my toaster waffles from the cupboard, and I've just sort of, like, attached them to my knee. But I should be fine. There's gonna be a hell of a bruise, though. I'm already seeing it, like, come up. I didn't notice. I was having too much fun with you guys. Heckin' not realizing I'm in pain like a silly goober. Oh, anyway, I'm back. I have taken my meds, and I have taken some more supplemental painkillers, so I should be fine. I just need to remember to actually pay attention at certain points, so I don't suddenly like check in with my body and be like, oh, holy shit. But yeah, let's get back into it. Alright. Okay, we are like right at the end of the